always emotional.
I think Devin might.
Convincing elected officials to do this.
Good evening.
Which bank?
No, you can do it. You're good.
Good evening, and welcome to the Gaming Advisory Board, night for your presentation of your project. I am Assistant Chairman Leonard. His voice is a little challenged tonight, so I'm doing the introduction. So you are here for a 15-minute block, I believe, on behalf of Pembroke Fire Department. So we're going to give you 10 minutes to present your project if you need it, and then we're going to save about 5 minutes for us to ask questions regarding to it. So we're going to set a timer, and at 10-minute mark, we'll kind of stop you, and then we'll open it up for questions. So if you start by introducing yourselves, and then you can just continue on with your presentations.
My name is Michaela Brady. I'm the treasurer with Citizens Fire Complaint Water Pembroke.
I'm Stephen Murphy, the fire chief, Citizens Fire Complaint Pembroke. So our project is debt reduction for our 2021 Pierce Saver. We have received multiple grants in the past for debt reduction, mainly the local state fire grant. We usually get about $12,000 to $14,000 a year for that. Next year is our last year that we're eligible for that debt reduction. It's up to 5 years. I believe a couple years ago when Dave Walker was fire chief, we got the casino or the gaming grant for $25,000 as well. I believe that was 20. That's pretty much all I have.
I'm currently left on the Pierce. We still today so we have 2 loans on it currently. We did put a big chunk down of our own fire tax money, but we did have to unfortunately get 2 loans, and we still one loan we pay $1,011.77 every single month, and on that loan we still owe December $164,000 on that one, and then on our second loan, which is the one that we're trying to pay off with the $75,000, if you guys would allow it. We still owe $106,000, which is through KS State Bank. And then with that is a yearly loan or a yearly payment that we make every year. So the goal is to pay off this smaller loan and then to eventually put everything towards the other loan. The smaller loan that we pay, the $1,011, it's going to get paid off, it says, in the year 2041. So hopefully we can get that paid off last year. What's yours?
And the bigger loan,
Yes.
how many years would it take you to pay it all the way down?
The one that we make once a year, or the one that has a bigger balance?
One that has a bigger balance?
The bigger balance, if we only do the monthly payment, it will get paid off. I'll give you the exact date. October 1st of 2041 will be when it exactly is paid off. It's like a mortgage. Yeah.
We know that.
Yeah.
Well, some of that equipment is like a
It
mortgage.
really is, yeah. Yeah, it was shocking to me coming in. I didn't do any of this. I was just like, oh, okay. So you guys know. That is our financial plan with those 2.
Our solicitor for the board did some work for all of the projects, and the best they could tell, that fire truck costs somewhere around like $723,000. No.
The final total was $575,000.
Oh, I'm sorry. Gotcha.
And what year is it?
2021. We got it just at the right time because now that price has doubled, almost doubled.
14 million. Is the, so the monthly payment, is that the low interest FEMA loan?
Yes.
Chief, did you just recently, you did sell your air truck, am I correct?
It's up for sale. We currently have a couple departments interested in one. backed out because it would not fit your station.
Okay,
So we have a couple others looking at it. We did just purchase, we did just sign a contract for a new piece of apparatus.
oh, you did?
Yeah. For a mini pumper attack.
Okay. And the air truck being sold will go toward that or toward this project, you know?
I believe we'll go towards the down payment for the attack
Okay,
from talking to all of our members.
okay.
Because
What's the price tag of your attack, if you don't mind me asking?
for
475.
Roughly.
numbers
Yeah.
and they're asking for a 30% down payment on that.
And this is, you say your engine is a 2021?
Correct.
Pierce.
Pure City.
How many members do you have? Kind of,
Have
Yeah,
you ever
personal
run
curiosity.
fire calls?
I'm sorry?
Running fire calls
Yeah,
or
just,
running fire calls, roughly 12. We're starting a pumpkin program finally, so we have about 3 or 4 members that are starting the process of being a pumpkin. We're about to vote in 3 members this month and then 3 other members next month, so.
for that bunked-in program, if I remember correctly, you couldn't do it because of no sprinkler system or something like that.
Yeah,
Am I
that's-
correct in saying
Yeah,
that?
you're correct.
So you've spent the money on the sprinkler system at the firehouse?
Yeah.
100% sprinkler?
Everything's sprinkler other than the upstairs, which
Okay.
is just our gear room.
Okay,
Well, our gear room, we moved down the basement because we are cutting out our basement next year.
okay,
And remodeling it. It got covered in mold
okay,
due to a flood.
very good.
Maybe, Brett, you can help me with it. Are you looking at
Yeah.
what I'm looking at? So what the solicitor put together was like, basically a chart showing how you might leverage gaming funds, like, and it shows various sources of potential income for the project. So I'm not sure if this is accurate or not, but just so you guys know, so in addition to this potential grant from the Casino Gaming Advisory Board, they're showing, it says $200,000 for that project with in hand from the Borough of Pembroke Fire Tax.
Yep.
And then $200,000 from a PEMA loan.
Yep.
And that's for the 2021 truck,
Yep.
right?
Yep.
Then $160,706 from the Kansas State Bank loan. Okay, that we're looking up there. And then the state fire commissioner's grants from 27, 6, 5, 4, and 3. And then $25,000 from the grant in 21. That's $723,000.
So all the loans and all the grants after, where it's a debt reduction source, those all went towards debt reduction. So,
For other projects, because the truck cost $534,000. What was the other debt? Maybe I'm just not connecting the dots. Or
No, I have some.
no, it's okay. So maybe I just did the graph, like,
No, and this is what, don't worry, this is what these hearings are
No,
for,
Yeah,
so.
yeah, just
So we can sort it. So we can
Yeah.
sort it out.
take a deep breath.
No, okay. So, the way that I did, we put the Borough of Pembroke fire tax, we put $200,000 down. We got $200,000 loan for $400,000, and the KS State Bank loan, so it'd be what, $560,000.
Right.
And then the manufacturer gave us some sort of discount for $13,000. So leaving the total cost of the Pierce at a $574 from the paperwork that I had from them. So from all the things that I had that were dispersed and distributed, that was everything that I had on my end, totaling the 200, 200, and 160, and the 13 discount equal 500.
Can you scroll down on that?
And then, so then the local share municipal, that was a reduction in that total. And then the grant was a reduction. So I don't know if you have on there our let me see what it's called. The revised payment schedule from KS State Bank.
What, did you send that over to me? Was it in the
It was in our
application?
packet, yeah.
In the original application?
It was in the packet that I handed in.
See what-
I don't know if it's.
So this is the application that was submitted back in October.
Yes.
That's fun.
See if you,
Yeah, so there should be one more down here.
okay,
Yeah, so you can see where all of so every year you can see that like the 13,000 gets, that we simply send that, the grant money we get right to them, and they take it off of the loan. Does that make sense?
I see.
Okay. So that's where all the grant goes. We don't even get the money into our account, it goes right to them. So this was a 2025 revised one, but I do have one for 2024 and 2023.
Brett, did you have a few questions?
I am not sure I'm clear on that, but for right now, earlier you said the, current outstanding debt was the 164 and the 106, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
In the questions, the response, the total debt as of 12/9/25 is 164,655.
Yeah, that was my mistake. I was
Okay.
looking at the wrong number.
Okay, so it's that one plus the 106.
Yes.
Okay.
Thank
And sometimes we just try to extract the number to make it make sense to us. And
No,
but what it looked like when you listed all the sources of potential funding for it, it came to $723,000.
no, I totally understand. Yeah, I didn't know how to.
That's okay.
To do it.
Understand. Thank you.
Smitty?
No.
Mike?
Right.
Brett, anything else? Yes, Rick.
Thank you. And this is just to continue debt servicing on an existing apparatus,
Yeah.
which is available countywide for mutual aid use anywhere in Dauphin County. Yep.
Good? Yeah,
Thank you.
Good job.
Good job.
Thank you very much. Yep. Have a good night.
You too. Thank you.
Stay safe,
Yeah,
Chief.
dress it as-
You as well.
Yeah, man.
Department. Good evening. How are you?
Good, how are you?
Good. Welcome to the Dauphin County Gaming Advisory Board project presentation. I'm speaking on behalf of Chairman Leonard tonight. His voice is failing him a little bit, so welcome. You will have 15 minutes to present your project, 10 of which will be for you to present your project, and then 5 minutes for the board members to ask any questions that we may have. What we would ask you to do is introduce yourselves, your capacities here representing the fire department, and then present your project to us whenever you like and how you'd like to do that. It's up to you. So,
Sure, I'll start. My name is Sam Meckley. I'm a project manager with Ritu Associates. Ritu serves as the engineer of record for High Spire Borough, and by extension, we are a consultant for Citizens Fire Department. We'll refer to them as High Spire Fire Department. So I'm here tonight and pass it off to Jen.
I am Jenna Condren. I am the Secretary and Vice President for the department.
I'm Robert Condren. I'm the Fire Chief at High Spire Fire.
Very good.
And I have a handout here. This is going to supplement our presentation here. So I'll just give you all this. Obviously, you need.
Do you need one?
Yeah.
I'm sorry, I need to take them over.
No. Let's take as many and distribute.
Yep.
Because we just want to go over this for everyone's benefit. So at the very top here, so we have the High Spire Fire Department's project. There's two components. Thank you. The engine rehabilitation and the equipment purchase project. And so what I want to explain just a little bit, just kind of go over the first part of this, the description at the top here. So the grant funding awarded and what it is going toward. And also just sort of make a mention of the grant funding awarded and how it ties into the $50,000 grant award from the previous round that the fire department did receive from the Dauphin County local share gaming grant, which I know the borough and the fire department are very, very grateful for that award for engine rehabilitation, just engine rehabilitation. This builds on that. So I just want to give you the sense of the overall, and this was the presented budget in the application. We're looking at $135,000 total amount here spread out across 2 rounds of this gaming grant. So with $50,000 in hand, the fire department is building on that, is asking a further award during this round of $85,000 to cover the things here that are listed. The engine rehabilitation in order to extend the life of both engines. So they have a 2005 E1 pumper and a 1997 Seagrave Marauder under roof. And the rehabilitation scope is going to cover work for both of those engines. And the first bullet point here is very important to mention that this allowing this rehabilitation effort, this funding that is being considered here, that's allowing these financial resources to be allocated toward tools and equipment in urgent need of replacement. So essentially offsetting the money that's coming in for the rehabilitation of the engine is going to allow the fire department to be able to put money that would otherwise be spent to rehabilitate the engines toward necessary tools and equipment separate from the gear and hose purchase, which we'll get to there. And then obviously rehabilitation of engines is critically important because this is going directly toward allowing them to continue to operate in a safe and effective manner. And one of the things I also want to call to your attention is the very high number of calls that the fire department is currently experiencing in relation to how many calls they received just 2 years ago. In 2023, they had a total of 265 calls. Already this year, before the year's over, they have 425. Extremely significant increase. Last year, 2024, 375 calls. So the need is there. There's a very clear and evident need for having these engines be at least serviceable. I even say that that it's how critical this rehabilitation is. But that aside, the gear and fire hose is equally as critical. The principal responsibility of the fire department is to maintain a reliable fleet of vehicles and safe, functional PPE, personal protective equipment, for responding to fires. So with that in mind, I just also then want to cover the questions that the board posed to the fire department and just go over those answers and give a little more context. And also if Jenna and Rob want to supplement, they're free to do that as well. But the fire coverage to be provided or managed while the engine is being refurbished, they would kind of trade off. If there's the Seagrave that's going to need some rehabilitation work, they have the E1 available, and vice versa. What other funding sources are being sought for the project? So beyond this local share, the fire department has not specifically for this engine rehab or gear and hose equipment purchase. And again, if there's anything you want to add, or if I'm not speaking correctly here, that they've applied for a grant for some aspect of this project, but there hasn't been any other funding sources specifically for that. But they do have a pending application in to to the local share account statewide program. If you're not aware of that, that funding has been held up for over a year. They have an application that they submitted at the end of November of 2024 for the purchase of a new fire engine. It has been 30 years since the borough got a new fire engine. So that application is in there. They did receive quotes, several quotes for the purchase of the new fire engine. They're just waiting a decision one way or the other on that local share account statewide program. And due to the nature of the timing, they are also in that round for this current round that just ended in November 30th. So they have an application in, and whenever the state awards that in 2026 or after, they'll, if they were not to receive an award from 2024, they'd be in for 2025. So that's an update on their efforts to try to, purchase a new engine. And really the theory behind it is that to get to the new engine, they need to be able to have effective, efficient response times on their current engine. Sort of let's just get to that point where we can get to that new engine. And the lead time there is significant, although, they'll look at all options, lengthy lead time or something maybe in the shorter term. The fire department does have some options on the table for that. If a grant is not awarded or a lesser amount, how would the project be funded? So again, the nature of this presentation of what they're asking for as far as engine rehabilitation, they can rehabilitate certain components of the engine with a partial award. So they will purchase within that amount of a partial award, but obviously the desire is for all of the deficiencies to be able to be remedied at the same time for efficiencies. Mechanical and electrical issues, obviously they have to pony those up. I mean, they have to get the money for those as they arise. So, the desired refurbishments, if there's a lack of funding that's granted, they're not going to be able to do that. Again, is the engine refurbishment or the equipment purchase top priority? They really are kind of equal, but if they had to go with that, the answer to the question, I think they're looking at the gear and hose equipment purchase as just slightly above the rehabilitation work. But again, we can speak on that. And not sure how many jobs are associated with the refurbishment. They have the process. They've identified the people and how that's going to work with rehabilitation. But as far as the actual resources at that location that will do the work, it's uncertain. But there's definitely going to be a number of people that are going to be engaged to complete this work. Probably less than 10, but maybe more than one. So just to put a number, I know the guidelines are clear about the number of full-time construction jobs and that kind of thing. So I think the question that you're asking is want to kind of get a sense of quantity there. So, and there's some context there in this about how it would take place. So that's what I wanted to present and go over with the board. Jenna, Rob, do you have anything additional to add or anything you'd like to say or chime in on this?
I believe so. I've been trying to
go
through it by iPad.
And we'll certainly be responsive to hand off questions as they.
Well, very good, very, very informative. Thank you. Very, very, very documented, factual. Start with Smitty. You have any questions, Smitty?
How long does it take? I'm making an assumption here that when you want to refurbish a fire truck, you just don't go down to like Hoffman Ford and they say, "Oh, we'll have it ready in a week for you."
No, there's certain businesses that's what they strictly that's what they do, like upgrades to fire trucks. But yes, you can't just take it to your local garage and.
Yeah, are these places, are they in the state or you have to go out of it?
No, they're in the state.
Yeah. The answer to question number 5 specifically, is focused on, they identified dealers within, local dealers for the refurbishment. And then with the gear and hose, there has to be a fitting process for that.
Yeah.
As is described here, and they're in Philadelphia, the plant's in Philadelphia.
One, I know the work for the E1. It's local, it's not, yeah.
Mannheim's in Lancaster County, that would be
Yeah.
within the
Like, yeah.
Lancaster Harrisburg region.
That would be where we are taking the lead. The E1 will go for the refurbishment, so that's local. And then same place where we've been getting our gear from is located outside of Philly.
I have some questions. So from the sounds of it, you're basically, you have two pieces of apparatus and you're just trying to get them in working order. Correct. You mentioned a state grant for a new engine. Is that a FEMA or is that FEMA or FEMA?
That's the gaming, the statewide. gaming.
Statewide gaming.
Yes,
Okay.
that's-
Okay,
that's-
gotcha.
200 some $1 million that they have every round. It's recent. The first round was, I believe, in 2022.
Yeah.
If I'm not mistaken. This might be the third round that they just finished up. And they have thousands of applications for statewide projects. And it's anything that improves the quality of life or is in the public interest. So all authorities and municipalities that sponsor fire departments, nonprofits can submit applications. So that's that very large program.
And you said it's been 30 years since there's been a new fire engine.
1995.
Beginning of 1995.
And that grant, you applied for the full amount of new engine.
So the maximum amount that they can award is $1 million through that grant program. The borough did commit an additional amount. It was actually more than $1 million all told for a new engine with a lead time of 3 years for that application.
Are both rigs in service right
Correct.
now, chief?
Yep.
And the gear, how old's your gear? Is this just replacing, how old's the gear that you're replacing? Rough number.
Probably older than it should be.
Yeah.
It's more than 10
Was
So
it
more
10
than
years
10
old?
years old?
Some of it, yes. Oh, yeah.
So, but like right now, we're in a position where there was, so I think we got like 5 sets last year. But right now we're in a position where we had to put some of it out of service because of a recent call. So technically we had to pull old gear out to be able to make
Yeah,
sure that our
yeah,
guys are,
yeah.
and so we could get that figured out. Now, I think that stuff was within, but it's like right on that line.
Yeah,
So-
we unfortunately do not have enough for every officer or chief to have a like secondary set of gear. That's what I always try and do. But unfortunately, it doesn't always work that way, so.
Very costly. Yeah, we all get that. Yeah, very good.
The information I had, the summation showed the grant was for the 2005 E1. Is it actually for both apparatus?
So,
I think the first one was.
yeah, the last,
The $50,000 grant is specifically for the E1.
There are two.
I think it's just, as far as I'm aware, it's both request, the last year's award, the $50,000 was for the E1, and this year's, the refurbishment piece would be for the E1 as well.
Okay,
So
so
adding.
Yeah.
so
Mostly.
last year was awarded. That
Yep.
was taken. Okay.
Yeah, most of the rehabilitation, refurbishment, whatever term you want to use, most of that work that's needed is for the E1, but there is a small amount, am I speaking out of turn?
Yep.
For the Seagrave, there is also some minor
Maybe I have
refurbishment.
a different. Do you have the same?
But is that included in this 97,000?
Yeah, the yes, it is. $135,000 covers the $50,000 just for the E1, and then the $85,000 is for E1, Seagrave, and gear and hose.
Okay, so we don't have the split for the Seagrave. we have the 97,760 as going all to the E1.
E1.
You have a, you have an
Yeah.
approximate, you have an approximate cost for,
Yeah, I was just trying to see what that breakout was.
Yeah, no, that was a good catch.
50,000.
no, I'm sorry. Oh, my apologies. Yeah, just give us 1 second here. So the $75,000, yeah, so this is requesting $85,000. That excess is the Seagrave. So it's 10,000.
10,000 to the
Yes,
Seagrave.
Yes.
So
All right,
50
so I
last year, 75 this year.
That's that.
No,
I think
that's
you can't consider last year.
Okay.
Yeah,
I'm just-
that's
I only,
totally
I only,
separate.
I only mentioned that to show the full scope of the entirety of it. And that's in the budget, that was described in the budget where there was 135,000 that was being presented, yeah, there it is, yep.
Yeah, so when you say 75 plus the 10, that doesn't, I'm confused on that too, because the 135 minus 50,000 for last year
Right.
comes out of the 97, leaves the 85, of which 23, so breaking the 85 down, it's 23 for turnout gear, 13 for fire hose, and the remainder going to the 2000,
Yeah, so
the
the,
E.
yep,
one.
so of that 97,000 is going to be 50,000 for the E1 from 2024-25 grant. And then 37, and a further 37, there's additional rehabilitation that's not covered previously. The 50,000 doesn't cover all the necessary E1 refurbishment work. So 37,000 of that is for the E1, and then the remaining 10,000 is for the Seagrave. So we have a total of 87,000 for the E1 and 10,000 for the Seagrave. Thank you. And with these two engines, I want to make a final point here. I know we're probably up into our time here, but unless there's any other questions.
How long do you, if you invest $87,000 into the 2005 E1, how long do you think that will? I mean, the engine could blow tomorrow, but in general, what do you think that would get you, like life service life?
So just real quick with that, unfortunately, that year was known for electrical problems. It is what it is. I don't know what reasons, but that year was specifically known for electrical problems. So when we had the mechanic look at the last time, that was one thing he specifically said was the electrical work in this needs upgraded ASAP before you guys, do anything. But there was there used to be E1 mechanic, somebody else somehow along the lines pretty much said if we would upgrade the electronics the way it is now, it'll be so much better in the long run. It's just older solenoids and relays and this and that I guess they use. It just doesn't last.
We had notes with your grant. I guess you bought that for 175,000. Borough, I guess, signed off, or they gave you a loan to buy it. You know when you bought it? How long have you had it?
2 years?
Oh yeah, definitely.
How long do you think I didn't hear what you said.
Maybe two
I
and a
think
half,
it's
3
going-
years.
Yeah, probably almost 3 years now.
Okay.
And it's been in the shop, unfortunately, more than I care for. So
Very good. Thank you so much.
thank you guys.
Mike, Smitty? you
Good.
good?
Fine.
Yeah, just to hammer home the point again, that the value of having two serviceable engines, 60% of the calls are just calls that they have to respond to are outside of High Spire Borough. So that just hammers home, I think, that the need to have, for High Spire Borough itself, a local engine that is able to respond to calls with that volume.
Yeah, it's interesting, the volume.
And especially, as I, pointed out with the 265 to 425 in just 2 years.
Yeah, yes, sir.
We were in a very, very bad place a couple of years ago. So I've done everything I could to get us out of that hole. And I think it goes to show on paper, we've been going in the right direction for once, so.
Takes a lot of work, chief.
It does. When you have a group of bad apples that destroy a place, it's hard to get back
Yes, sir.
above the ground.
Yes, sir. Appreciate what you do for your
We,
residents.
we appreciate you guys as well, Ibby, you especially.
Thank you for all your effort and all your work.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you
very
so
much.
much.
Thank you. Have a good Christmas.
You too. Same to you guys.
Stay safe, chief.
So, next we have Rex Earl and Brett's Fire, and they said that they can squeeze in Brett's Historical Society all in 30 minutes.
Then we'll have a dead spot, so it should work.
That's fine.
You know,
We're working with them.
if that organization is back and running, why don't you put it for Brady Fire Department? Help them, because
Well, they
they,
did.
for the state, with big
Let's see.
No, Ed,
God bless them.
I know.
God bless them.
I don't have that problem. And it's,
So with the renovations now, unfortunately, in 3 years, $260,000.
Good evening.
Good evening.
It's all three. Gratz, fire, and then Gratz.
thank you very much.
Great, please come in, have a seat. Come to Gulf County Gaming Advisory Board meeting for the presentation of your project. There is actually a half-hour slot established for Borough, it sounds like tonight, and if you're willing to do the Historical Society too, that would be fantastic. So what we'd like to do tonight is you have 20 minutes for your presentations, which would leave us 10 minutes to ask and answer any relative questions that we would have. And we would ask that you start by introducing yourselves, who you are and what capacity you're representing Gratz Borough. And then whenever you're ready, you can start your presentation. Which one is going to go first?
Why don't you go first?
We're just getting out the paperwork, and then we'll be able just to go through it and take some time. I'm Lynn Shadle, I'm the mayor of Gratz and also the founder of 48 Years.
Mayor, real quick, we have these on our computer.
Okay,
So which one will be first, the fire company, the historical, or the Gratz, or the borough?
why don't we do the borough first?
Borough first?
Okay,
All right.
yep, you have that out too.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you, Mayor.
As I said, my name's Lynn Shadle, I'm mayor of Gratz and also as the founder of the Historical Society 48 years ago. This is Timothy Lesher. He is our assistant fire chief and borough employee. He divides his time in the borough between the water authority, sewer authority, and the borough itself. And this is Amos Zook. He is the treasurer of the fire company.
Great, thank you, welcome.
Thank you, welcome.
Yes, thank you.
You want to start with Gratz Borough first?
All right. You want to start?
Yep. All right. Like Lynn said, I'm Tim Lesher. First full-time borough employee for Gratz. I was hired 3-4 years ago, full-time. But I have a list of all the borough council, which has been updated here since he got his new position. On behalf of the Gratz Borough Council and the Gratz Borough Community Center, we appreciate the opportunity to present our grant presentation to the gaming. We also appreciate the consideration to the awarded funds to the gaming. And we appreciate what you guys and girls do for the whole community. Yeah, it's
Thank you,
great.
Chief.
It's great thing. What we're looking to do is we have an old elementary school, and Lynn, help me out with the dates. You're the
Historic, or the, excuse me, the community center with the old elementary school, it was built in 1957. And it was given to the borough when they built the new school in like 92, 94. So we have been quietly and consistently renovating it. And we were very fortunate to receive funds from you last year to put in handicap accessible restrooms to replace the little children's restrooms that have been in it for, so this would be the next phase of it. And we want to redo the kitchen. I think
there are some
pictures on the end. You can see the cafeteria and the interior of the kitchen. The kitchen itself is all original appliances that no longer work from 1957. You can see the antique dishwasher, etc.
We added the
And
the stoves.
yeah, we put the stoves and the refrigerators are just secondhand, residential.
Yes, sir.
So we're looking to replace it. You have a list of the pictures of the appliances we want and the budget for it and the estimates. Basically, the situation is such that we have renovated much of the building ourselves through the years. We put new roof on to the tune of $50,000. We've put new plumbing in. We spent $20,000 on oil last year, so we are, upgraded all that. And
Putting them in the split.
putting mini splits in, and we rented out. We have one section that is rented out to Dr. Klein, a chiropractor. We have our grass food bank working out of there that services like 20 families every month with food for the month. So it's kind of important. And well, sometimes we get as many as 26 families, and this is both Amish and English that come. All right. But the building, the multi-purpose room is heavily utilized by the community. Father-daughter dances, funeral dinners, you name it, and auctions, yeah. And we're hauling food across the street from the church kitchen. So we could do a lot better and have some more rentals for children's parties and all of that when we get this done. So we continue.
Yep. Yeah, we have the estimate. We have a copy of all the appliances that we would like to purchase throughout here in the end, 5 pages of the appliances. The estimate was to do that plus $55,725, and that wasn't including the appliances, which that was an additional like $26,000.
Yeah. Just in the center of that section where it says appliances.
And that would make the total of that we're requesting $81,454 to do this project.
You say your kitchen appliances are 26,000?
Yeah,
And the list I have, it only says 18 plus.
It's the 18 plus the warranties plus the prep table. And,
Gotcha.
all of this together.
I appreciate that.
Yeah,
Thank you,
yeah.
Thank you.
I think your project is straightforward and makes a lot of sense. From my perspective, I could let's just ask questions on each 3 phases if that's okay.
That's
You
right.
guys okay with that?
yeah, that,
I think you already answered one of my primary questions. This is used by your entire community.
yes.
It's probably one of the few community center venues or facilities even in that area, correct?
Oh.
So it's open to the community. It's not limited to certain membership or certain groups. If it's a community-based need that meets requirements, they come to the borough and they arrange to utilize it.
So for our voting center, we did put in handicap accessible parking, ramp, and electric doors. So then the bathrooms this past year that you provided for us are making it handicap accessible for, voters and people attending functions there.
Functions.
You know, and it would appear like, you know, in 24, $140,000 was awarded, and it's a polling place. It's a hub of the community. It services, I'm guessing, a large part of the northeastern part of Dauphin County, up around Gratz. I really don't have any other questions.
No. The food bank, you said, even works out of there.
Yeah, the church runs a food bank out of there, and it is heavily supported by the community. Like Metal Industries gives grants for it, and
Nice.
the church, you know, they tell you what they need, and everybody brings it, you know, and we have Amish kids that are in helping us date everything and shelve it, and we have some Amish widows that have fed their
Thank you very
children,
much.
you know, through the food bank.
Yeah, you said it's pretty important. It's real important.
Yeah, it really is.
Yes.
It is.
Yeah.
It is.
Mike, do you have any questions?
The only question do you, this is just out of curiosity, do you charge community members for the space to help maintain it, or how does that work?
We, if it's a community event, like the father-daughter dance, or the historical society dinners, or the teas, there's no charge. If you wanna come and have your birthday party there for your children, we charge $25. So, I mean, it's
It's
not
very
like,
affordable.
yeah, and that just kinda pays for the heat, you know, to turn it on, so. People go in and play pickleball during the winter in there, and, I mean, it just gets a lot of use, there's a stage.
It's a great repurposed use of the school building, which would otherwise been a blighted or decayed property.
Exactly, and, you know, we share the parking lot with the church across the street, you know, it just really works out well, it's kind of a center.
Who maintains it? Like, who cleans it? Who?
We have a cleaning lady
The borough.
that, through the borough,
The borough does
yeah, she comes like twice a week. And then the tenants clean their own, you know, like the doctor's office.
Yeah, sure.
You know, he does his own, and the church ladies do the food bank, so,
You lease to the doctor's office?
yep. That's where we have a nice little revenue, what do we get, like 700, you know, a month for him,
Health
so,
expenses.
yeah.
Mr. Smith, any questions?
No, just geographically, you're at the
We're at the
We're at the
northern,
very top.
Yeah.
we're at the farthest northern part of Dauphin County.
That's what I thought.
Yeah, there's
Yeah.
one little town beyond us called Erdman.
Gratz Fair, the Gratz Fair.
Yeah, the Gratz Fair.
Regrets
Yeah.
that.
Very good.
Demolition there.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Brett, do you have any questions?
I have one, but it's about all 4 projects. Does the borough have a priority list between all 4?
I did mail it.
Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't see it in the response to them.
Yeah, I mailed it to you. I can pull it up again and mail it. I mailed it to Brooke.
Or you can just.
You make sure Brooke gets it if she
Yeah,
doesn't.
Or if you know it off the top of your head.
All right, it's in your file.
I'm sorry.
Here you go.
The priority list we did was the community building, the fire company, the historical society, and then the wastewater.
Okay. Thank you, Mayor.
All right, well, you want to do the fire company next, since that's your second priority.
I'm Amos Slick, the treasurer of the fire company. I've been a member there now for 13 years, going on 14. I want to thank you for the money we received last year. That should all be pretty much complete by the end of the year here. We got the thermal imaging cameras, we got nozzles and some hose coming in. This year we put in for the radios. Right now we have 4 radios on our engine and 4 on our rescue, and then 5 out of 6 of our officers have a radio, and we replaced the batteries in them a couple years ago. They're about at the end of their lifespan now. So we did put in for enough radios for all our apparatus, for the personnel on the apparatus, which our rescue holds 7, our engine holds 6, and then our tanker holds 2, but we only put in for 1 radio for that. So one driver will always be with the apparatus. And then we put in for 6 for our officers. You'll see a difference on our quote. The 6 for our officers will be compatible with Northumberland County and Schuylkill County. Right now, if we go to Schuylkill County, we have absolutely no communication whatsoever with them.
And we're both direct, sorry to interrupt. We're only 5 miles from Schuylkill County and 5 miles from Northumberland County. Every time we go either direction, we have no communication at this time with any of those fire companies.
There's no patch.
Northumberland, we do have a patch.
Northumberland
That's been
just got a
in effect
patch.
like a half a year, but
Yeah.
Schuylkill County, they,
Said it's coming, but it never.
we haven't seen it yet.
Makes it hard if we're called out to those areas.
So when you're operating in Schuylkill County, can you communicate with Dauphin County or are you out of range?
No, we can, depends where we're at in Schuylkill County. Most times what we do is we head up that way. Sometimes we'll have Dauphin call Schuylkill and then they'll call the fire chief on the scene and then bring it back to us. Most times, honestly, we just show up and walk up and ask what our assignment is and then we go from there.
Yeah.
They'll give us one radio if they have the extra and then we'll communicate that way. But it's iffy.
Are there times your guys are in the buildings without communication?
So the way we do, like whoever's the officer on our rig, we'll make sure they have a Dauphin County radio and a Schuylkill County radio.
Stand with 2 microphones,
Yeah, it's
listening and talking.
it's not good, and they've fought already with Schuylkill. It's on the Schuylkill County side.
Yeah.
It's a losing battle.
It's a one gentleman that no.
No, we,
And
Yeah,
we understand
Yeah.
this need. I mean, we understand Mr. Smith is coming up to speed quickly on what fire department and police radios cost. It's
Yeah.
unbelievable,
yeah,
but it is by far a critical piece of equipment for the safety of everyone involved.
We do a lot of RIT. If there's a trap fire, a RIT team.
Yeah.
So when we go to Schuylkill, most times when we go to Schuylkill County, one of our pieces of apparatus will be the RIT assignment.
Yeah.
So there we are, we're going. So we hurry up and try to reach one of their officers and hope they have a radio that we can listen to the call on. Either that or we grab our cell phones out and listen to the scanner.
we've done that many times.
Yeah.
That could be, you have 7 seats on your engine.
The engine has
So you can have
6.
7, okay, 6. So
Yeah.
you can be a RIT team with 6 people with 1 radio.
So
Just,
you're gonna have to let either way, we have to let someone outside. That's the only
We
way.
understand it. We're not
no,
we're not being
Yeah.
critical.
Gotcha.
This is raising concern.
yeah.
Yeah. We've talked about it for years, and we've talked about getting radios, but you see the difference on the radios. The 6 that have the capacity to communicate with them are 8,226, and then the ones that don't are only 3,924. That's the difference. But it didn't make. Most times there'll be an officer with, but it didn't make sense to, go with.
No, you
all of
can't,
it,
you
know,
can't
that's-
guarantee who's gonna.
Yeah, but it was crazy to ask for money for, 21 radios and 8,000 a piece. That's.
We,
all right.
I see on the history of the gaming grants, you've been successful in obtaining grants for your department, obviously, because there's a genuine need. Of the money that was provided you by grants, did you expend all that to purchase the items as
We
requested?
did, yeah. Like I said, last year we got the small thermal imaging cameras, those go on each air pack. We got the nozzles, which we didn't receive those yet, and we also got 3-inch hose. And the year before that, if I remember correctly, we got the big thermal imager cameras and the 5-inch hose, which that stuff is all in service and being used. We've made a lot of progress in the last 4 or 5 years. Looking ahead, we have a lot of stuff to, bring up yet.
We have a 1991 engine that is our main fire piece. So
We do have a lot of money set back for that, approximately about 400,000. We're hoping to build that up for a couple of years yet. Just so we can kind of take care of that. I'm sure we'll need some help, but we can take care of a lot of it on our own. As far as the radios, whatever money we get, we'll be thankful for. If we don't get enough, we'll go in for a low interest loan or something. Because we want to complete the whole project at once if at all possible, just to avoid extra costs for going through it twice. So.
You did a good
Yeah,
presentation.
very good presentation.
Questions?
Nothing, thank you.
Questions, Smitty?
No.
Michael?
Just this is kind of for Smitty, but a lot of the cost of the radios also comes from the programming of them.
Yeah, oh, yeah.
So, I'm assuming this will give you the 8,000 of the programming of the tri-band, which is allow you to
Yeah.
communicate with them. So,
Yeah, the 8,000 is just for the radio, and then there's a lot of costs behind that. They have it detailed out very well on the
right, but you're
Yes.
looking at $4,000 in
just
software costs.
yeah.
Right.
And that's where if we get the whole project completed once, we don't have to go through a bunch of that.
Understood.
Yeah.
Just wanted
Thank
to point
you.
that out. Thank
Fred, do
you.
you have any
Yes,
questions?
thank
I
you.
don't, thank you.
Yeah, we get it.
Yeah, thank you. All right, so now we have the Historical Society or the wastewater facility.
Go ahead and I'll hand these out.
The Historical Society was founded in 1977, and before long, we ended up with a museum. The museum is 22 rooms, 22 spaces, and a number of outbuildings. We hold educational functions there, school field trips, both Amish and English. It's really interesting when you see the Amish come in a large wagon, open wagon, pulled by 3 horses to pull up to our hitching post outside the museum and come in through and see everything. So it is very good. The facility itself is getting a little aged, and I just wanted to show you on the pictures of the exterior. What we're looking to do is make it more handicap accessible because we have children and elderly that can't get in. You see the front steps there. I can tell you though, right off the bat, that we are looking to lower our request. We had to put the sidewalk in, it was just too bad. So the request can be lowered $6,400. So the new request would be $69,823. And what it would provide is along the side of the building here, it would provide a way in along here of all handicap accessible. And then across the back here, we have a covered roof, and this would be the handicap accessible door. But also, we're putting in a handicap accessible bathroom, and it would be right in through this door. If you look at the kitchen here, that little kitchen, we would basically be cutting that kitchen in half. The door is on one side, and then the little kitchenette is on the other side. The museum itself hosts a number of things in the community. It is actually very well received in the community. I gave you the newsletter here, and what's interesting is you can see it's not only the president's letter, but an Amish perspective. And this was written by an Amish woman that came and helped serve at one of our dinners. You'll see the property committee, what they did all last year on page 3. So there were a number of renovations done. And then on page 4, you'll see the future project. So they are functioning, and people, we tried to do a little fundraiser and just ask for donations from the community. We wanted to raise $15,000, and then we would put 15 to it to do the front porch and the pavement and all that. In 3 days, we had like $30,000 from the community, you know. Yeah, and you'll see a picture here. We in the Great Gratz Fair, we won first place, blue ribbon, you know. So, and that was called Yesterday's Child. What was really interesting, and I just have to draw your attention to one thing. On the side here, there is a quilt. This quilt on the side here is the last year Gratz had school in the Gratz Community Building was 1990. They gave all the scholars in the school a patch, and they drew their story, and the ladies quilted it all into a quilt. And so we displayed it. Now these people are all in their 40s. You wouldn't have believed the lines standing at to see, you know, the quilts. So we do well. And it's time that we make ourselves more handicap accessible. There's nothing worse than having a child that can't come to the field trip with his friends. We try to take the museum then to them, but it's not the same as going on an outing, you know, with your kids. And I will answer any questions. I just do not want to take up more time.
And we are getting
Yeah.
close, quite up.
Yeah.
One question, I see you're a it's a nonprofit.
Yes,
Are there any paid members of the
No.
board?
no,
So no one's paid,
No.
it's strictly all
all
volunteer.
volunteer.
That's
Yep,
the only question.
all
I have.
volunteer, yep.
What's that?
69.
New amount?
69,823.
And that's basically aiding the accessibility and revamping.
Yes. Well, we paid for the front porch and all that, but now it's ADA accessibility and the ADA bathroom
I understand.
and the roofs. The roofs are 100 years old. So,
That's
One
my only question.
yes,
So I'll call it, not your personal community, but the community around Gratz is mostly the upper part of the county and
Schuylkill and Northumberland, yeah.
Yeah. Do people in the lower part of the county ever come up for?
Oh, yeah, all the time.
Visits or?
Yeah, they come to do research in the research library, is here. And we have people coming for genealogical research and for historical research all the time. The newspaper comes and gets articles, that are written by the society for, historical fundings, et cetera, so. And we actually have members around the country, because they were former Gratz towners. So,
Right, you have anything?
I don't think.
There was one more thing,
And
right?
finally,
Yeah.
we have the wastewater
The
treatment.
wastewater, yeah. I'll move right into the project list. We're looking to replace 2 sewage grinder pumps at the wastewater treatment plant. Those would be the main pumps that everything is gravity fed into our collection or our plant. And then there's a big holding tank, which is called a wet well. And then these pumps are down in there and that pumps up into our treatment facility.
one's been rebuilt already. They're both original.
Yeah, we actually just bought that one.
Yep.
So we're looking for those, and then there's actually 6 mixers in these. There's 2 SBR tanks, there's 3 mixers in each tank, and we're looking to replace 3 of them. We have, the last 2-3 years, we have rebuilt 3 or 4 of them already. So we're thinking that if we get a couple years out of those, to rebuild them the second time is gonna be tough.
They're from the 90s.
And they've pretty well run around the clock, keeping what they call mixed liquor, the sewage.
So in the application, you put 3, it says replace 3 grinder pumps,
Yes,
3 light mixers or FLY, whatever that,
yes, flight mixers.
and then purchase sewer, camera and trailer.
Yeah,
I thought you said 2 earlier, but is it actually 3?
yeah, it's actually gonna be 2 because we replaced the
You
one.
already have.
So that could be,
Is that funding change? Because the original application was $104,150.
that could be lower. Yes, that could be lower with the, with only the 2. Yes, correct. And then, the crawler, the little sewer camera, there's actually a picture.
So the camera, trailer, and that's 53,250. Is that right?
Yes, it's,
Okay, so that comes as like a kit or it's all made together. The trailer's made for that system, right? So that's 57,250, and then there's 3 grinder pumps was $13,400. That was for 3 of them. So is each one like about $43,000 or $4,400?
yes,
Okay, and then the 3 mixers are like 47,500. Again, we can divide that by, by 3, and then what the price for 2 would be. Okay.
yeah, and I'm hoping, we got awarded last year for the sewage. And I'm hoping that our quote or our projects that we have, I'm hoping that we can back in a little bit under with, I found a camera that might be able to do our main lines. So I'm hoping that I can purchase that camera, that this one here would be actually It's
Yeah.
all remote
So-
control, yeah,
yeah,
itself.
yeah.
And the other one that I'm looking at right now is strictly a push. It's just your manual push. Hopefully, the amount of times that we need to use it, I'm hoping that, we can, hopefully we can make do with that one.
How many people working the year?
I have one helper that I call him my part-timer because
Because he's part-time.
he's retired and he's leaving end of this month. He'll be in Florida for 4 or 5 months. And then he comes back and then he goes on vacation here and there. And then I have another guy that helps me pretty well Fridays. He works at a local stove manufacturing place.
We get naughty boys too, that when the police assign them,
Right.
25 hours community service, they clean the park and they do that. The police bring them over to me, and
Very good.
we've had Amish that have raced down either side of the grass plot in buggies.
Thank you much. Jimmy,
Thank you.
good presentation.
Sounds like a lot of great things going up in
I
Gretz.
tell you,
That
Trying to-
sense of community, and I think that's something that's missing in our society. It sounds like you folks still have it figured out.
We try.
Trying.
19 projects done.
It's nice
Yeah.
to hear.
That's
This
impressive.
is our Christmas ornament this year from the borough, and it's the Historical Society. So my point is, everybody works together,
Yeah.
They sell these for $15 and then any benefits,
Let me see that again.
Oh,
That's good
sorry about that.
presentation, Chief.
Very good.
Thank you.
Good
Thank you.
presentation.
So you're finally replacing your 91 peers.
No.
Yeah.
Yeah. We don't want to get rid of it.
Well, it's great to see you.
It's a good piece. Yeah, we don't want to get rid of it.
Very, very good presentation.
Thank you.
Thank
Thank you. Oh, yeah.
Mr. Barrow, slide that back to you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Yes, thank you.
Stay
Have
good.
a good evening.
Yeah, you too. Drive safe.
Yeah, thank you.
All right, bye-bye.
Yep, take care. Don't worry, head start first. Okay. They came early?
Yeah, like really early.
Hilton, Nice Fire School District. Okay. Yep, Nice Fire School District.
Okay.
Again, like me.
Good evening.
Yeah.
Sit anywhere you like. Welcome to advisory board and our presentation for projects this evening. I'm going to be helping out here, covering for Chairman Leonard. His voice is failing him. Mr. Slade, it's good to see you.
Always, how you doing?
Doing well. So what we're going to do is we're going to give you 15 minutes to present your project. We're going to set a timer around 10 minutes. And at the 10-minute mark, we're going to kind of stop you. And then we're going to have 5 minutes for questions and answers on behalf of the board. So we'd like to start this evening by first welcoming you. Thank you for being here. And if you would introduce yourselves, let us know who you are and your capacity for being here. And then when you're ready, you can start your presentation.
Well, I'm Willie Slade. I'm the superintendent of Dauphin Fire School District.
Andrew Irby, athletic director and head football coach, still on.
Michael McKenna on health development, sporting skill high fire school.
Sean O'Toole from One Hill Development Consultant.
So I'm just going to get a quick introduction of the project. It's still Nice Fire Cottage Shore Revitalization Project. The purpose is a comprehensive community investment in line with the local share municipal grant program. Our primary outcomes is to strengthen the public infrastructure, improve community health, and expand educational opportunities. Key component is the development of a wellness center and a shared student community resource. The wellness center functions as a dedicated space for physical education, health and wellness programming, preventive health initiatives, and youth development. It will support the curriculum-based instruction during the school day, after-school programming opportunities, community fitness activities, and health education workshops, and with partnerships with our local health and human service organizations. The community impact is to integrate education and wellness to reduce barriers, physical inactivity, chronic conditions, and lack of a safe recreation space, and strengthens Cottage Hill as a year-round publicly accessible hub. Related improvements will be an upgraded athletic and recreational facilities, enhanced lighting and safety upgrades, and ADA accessible amenities. And the funding relevance of local share municipal grant funding helps leverage partner resources, promote equitable access, and deliver measurable long-term regional benefits.
I'm gonna speak a little bit on the personal interaction. So this spring, I had to have some difficult conversations with football players, the cheerleader, the band, the track, and our youth program along with the youth coaches. The difficult conversation was that we would be unable to play and participate. How this affects our community is our Friday nights, our facilities, our kids, our interaction is important to them. So for a group of kids that had to miss senior night, playoff games, special events like parent nights and revenue was very difficult. But with that being said, that helped us support and create positive energy. What I mean by the positive energy was things that had to be implemented for our student athletes was what we call varsity plan, where we had to adapt a plan that our students could understand that focus is important, understand that you still have a responsibility in your job, but also we talked to our kids about, even though the circumstances are here, we still have to be, relentless in our effort in academics, community, and within between the lines. So I think that's important. So across the board in all of our programs, even for our youth kids, implementing positive self-talk, because at that time you have a low. We had an idle with the mill, we're underfunded school district. So there's a mental piece that has to go on in our community. And you have to lead honestly and tell our kids the truth. So those things had to be implemented for the well-being of our students, coaches, adults, and community, because it was rough at a rough time. But the benefits, as we learned, we were vertically aligned when it comes to our communities and Stoughton High School administration, that there's a need, and we want to be known as, a community where we want to be more than a football game, more than a football field, because the biggest piece of it is the wellness center. And it comes down to this really simple, explain to the coaches, are we going to help or hurt? And with that choice, can you sleep with it and live with it? And I think our goal across the board, for me personally, is it's bigger than the game because we're saving lives. Thank you.
So phase one of the project ultimately results in the renovation of the track and the field. But there are a lot of things that have to happen first. Erosion, sediment controls, and site demolition, stormwater management facilities. For this specific grant, the district is requesting $140,719, and it's tied specifically to the project management and general requirements line item that covers the safe and responsible mobilization of that phase one project. The scope of work and the costs are defined in the phase one proposal from Mid-Atlantic Sports, which can be found in the submitted application. The site is owned by the district. The district will manage the procurement, the fiscal controls, and the reporting for this project. And the mobilization work will commence within 1 year of the award, consistent with the program expectations. Public support for this project is well documented. There was a major public outreach effort that consisted of public meetings and site visits that resulted in a published strategic framework, which is also included in the application, and also submitted our letters of support from the Roller Nation Foundation, who is collaborating on the effort, Steelton Borough, the state representative, the state senator. The entire phase one base is quoted at $2,905,594. That includes this $140,719 mobilization line, which is being requested this evening. The district has undertaken an aggressive fundraising campaign. As of today, cash on hand totals $318,704.09, with signed pledge donations totaling $536,500. The district has received prior local share awards of $19,000 and $40,000, and has recently received a private donation of $125,000 from the Hershey Company. Recent land appraisal values the site at $980,000 for a non-cash match potential. And the district is going to continue leveraging these funds to submit applications for public and private funding in 2026. This request represents about 4.8% of the phase 1 base. And although it is a small portion, it represents the first essential step to mobilize the work safely and efficiently.
Excuse me, I apologize for.
I do have an updated, financial that was in.
That he was just talking about.
We actually got another one updated after that.
As long as Brooke has it.
Yes.
Thank you. Sir, did you have anything to?
I really don't have any data other than, in case you haven't read the newspaper, what prompted this project was when the PIAA came in and the Dean football field and play out. Meaning that the Skip High Spider football team doesn't have a field to play on right now. That's this project, so. So that led me to a lot of questions. So basically, this first phase is to do the larger athletic field, the football field and the track. So I'll break this apart. So are you going to do an athletic turf or natural turf on the football field?
It'll be athletic turf because our drainage system needs to be redone as well. Just the maintenance of a grass turf is difficult to maintain.
So you're looking at some kind of artificial turf?
Yes.
Okay. Now, on the track side, the same thing?
Yes, we currently don't have a track at all.
Yeah,
So our kids run on
We've never had.
concrete. So those are one additions that we want to add. So our girls and boys actually run in the concrete in front of the school. So we actually just grown over the past 3 years. Maybe we have 40 to 50 people, and we've been winning. We've been successful in track with some state championships with no actual track.
Yeah.
So
I'm well aware of
Yeah.
what you guys have done track-wise.
Yeah.
The track itself, and have you consulted with somebody to lay out a track for you, like the curbing, the drainage?
Yeah, that'd be through
the
their
drainage?
And that's a company that specializes in athletic fields and tracks, right? It's a special.
Yes, specialized.
There are. So.
Full architectural plans have been made of the project.
I didn't hear you.
Full architectural engineer plans have been made of the project.
Okay.
Like.
So, what do you think the chances are of the project moving forward? So if the gaming advisory board gives you what would your request, $140,000? Say you're awarded that grant and you start phase 1. What are the chances that phase 2 or 3 would never happen? And then the gaming advisory board funds basically didn't really do anything. So what is the plan for the project? What is the plan to make sure it's going to come to fruition so that funds that are invested by the board are going to become a reality?
Well, yeah, as I indicated, you have, how much is that right now, 500,000?
We have 318,704 on hand, 536,500 pledged. And the hope is that by showing, what they've achieved in the past year, that you see, how aggressive and serious the district is about going after these funds. Funds like the LSA that we're applying for tonight, we're hoping to use to leverage for other applications. We've been in discussions with local banks for private grants as well. It's an effort that, we're not planning on stopping the effort, just like the students are.
It's a great project. The potential for community impact is huge. This is a great project.
And we also have, and Coach Choate can speak on this better than I can, but we're also already working with outside partners, like mental health programs, everything to partner with the wellness center to help us also get grants for that.
It's a great project.
See that the need in our community.
It's needed. And we just heard a presentation earlier about another part of our county where it's like a hub of the community. This is a hub of the steel community, and it's great for the young men and women that go to school and the community members as a whole. I mean, it's certainly a very good project and what it can do for the.
And we also added some we have 3 ambassadors. Dave Sullivan, Jordan Hill, you guys should be familiar with Jordan Hill, and Troy Drayton. So those are ambassadors with a group of ambassadors that work to fundraise on their own and have been very successful on their end with just bringing attention to the project, with getting those other resources that we need. So we added our ambassadors because we'll be very honest, we wanted to make sure that it was serious and it was credibility, and just working with Owen Hill's been a success and we've been in a lot of doors.
Now, the wellness center, is that something that's going to be designed, or is there space within the current building that you have on campus there, or is this going to be a separate structure?
It's going to be a separate structure at the stadium site. If you're familiar with our stadium, on the visitor side, going toward 6th Street side, in the back where it's like all trees, we own all that land. And so the plan, the design is taking that, cutting it down, leveling it off, and that's where the building is going to be. Because one thing when we were talking about this, like if we wanted to just do the field and not do anything, we could have already done that. But when we got to talking, it was like, we need to do something that's we're both born and raised in Stilton, and I'm old enough, unfortunately, good enough, I guess, to remember what we used to have. And there's no community space within the borough. I mean, there's literally nothing, and there's no resources in the borough. I mean, the best we have is the borough building, and I'm on borough council for another 2 weeks. And even that building is so out of date that there's nothing there. So we have to do something. And we used to have a Head Start program at the elementary school, and we ran out of space because we had to use so many classrooms. So now we don't even have that. So we need space where we can have these programs for our community, and where people can actually use space for community programs outside of school hours. And this is where we came up with this plan. Like, this is what we need. And we could have did it the easy way and say, we just need to go back with everything going. We got to go for what we need for the community. And I think that was the thing that got everybody involved in the program, and got a lot of the alumni involved, and the ambassadors that he talked about. That's the thing. Like, they're all former professional football players,
Right.
But their big thing is that wellness and education center. Like that's the piece that got them interested in being involved.
I think with some feedback,
an education center like that. That's the piece that got them interested in being involved.
I think with some feedback, I think one of the biggest, after we got feedback from our community members, was the need for something simple as food. So that's why I partnered with the Central PA Food Bank. Once we got the data and analytics, we're actually a food desert. So that being a hub where community members and kids can eat and things are extremely important. I mean, there's times where, to be honest, I have kids that play on the team or athletic program where their siblings need to come.
Yeah.
So this is a great way where they can come eat, you know what I mean, and just be a part of it and be in a safe environment. I mean, just having that hub and licensed state place is extremely important. But like Willie said, as the football coach, I'm not concerned about a football game because our community needs that wellness piece to be successful. Because when you think about it, there's a game, but then they're saving lives. So I want to make sure that we fulfill the wellness piece is the most important.
Sir, you're very humble.
We get coach. We get a coach.
You've done an amazing job. You're very, very humble.
Yeah.
Your impact in the community is well known, and this just continues to show the level of commitment by your school district to have that positive impact in the community. So I'd really be excited to see how that's gonna look.
I'm sure you're aware of the Hamlin Health Center.
Yes.
Yeah. Would it be kind of a model like that where kids in the district can come and get some health and wellness and?
Absolutely.
Okay, so it's
Yeah.
on a smaller scale.
That's a component that could be a game changer, whether it be professional development, learning a trade, or also access to our families where we can build together and unite, like in that hub where the district can work with community members and we can just join as one. Absolutely.
Very good.
Sounds like a great project.
I don't have anything.
No, great presentation.
Very good.
Thank you for what you're doing.
Yeah, thank you guys. Thank you all.
Yeah.
One final thing about getting the funding to do all 3 phases, both Patty Kim and Dave Metz are 100% on the project. They've assured us they can move heaven and earth when it comes time for us to submit the RAP. I used to call it RCAP, I guess they call it RAP now application. And we're gonna have about 3 million probably in matching funds. We need matching funds for that, so we're relying on that.
Great project.
Yeah, with the coach's humbleness, I think, I don't think you'll need, oh, you will need them, but you're doing great things.
Thank you.
Thank you, Coach.
Yeah, thank you guys so much.
Appreciate it.
Yeah, thank you.
As a rush, you could
Yeah, you take care. Drive safe.
Long day, huh?
Thanks.
That was a long day.
Yeah, drive
We're
safe.
good, though. We get to hear a lot of good things.
No, where is it? I can see it into their phone.
Oh, that's right.
Skipping a little bit.
Yeah, we got to,
We got involved with that fire department thing.
all right.
So we're back on schedule.
Well,
A little bit behind.
about 7 minutes. Hey, good evening.
Couple of
Good evening. Welcome to the Dauphin County Gaming Advisory Board. Thank you for a presentation of your project. And we welcome you here and thank you for being here tonight. You will have a 15-minute block to present your project. We would ask that in 10 minutes you would be concluded. We'll set a timer and in 5 minutes we can ask questions of you. If you would be kind enough to start by introducing yourselves, your capacity with the organization, and then feel free to start your presentation.
Well, my name is Valerie Wyman. I work for Keystone Human Services, which in Capital Area Head Start is the program of Keystone Human Services. And I wrote a proposal, so I'll be able to do the presentation, which won't take 10 minutes.
And I'm Shauna Huber, the Executive Director at Capital Area Head Start.
Very good, thank you.
So I wrote this proposal. When I write a proposal, I'm always asking the people who are going to hopefully receive the money what they need. And the 2 projects that came up as most important were the vehicles, which Shawnee will get to speak to. But we've explained it pretty well in the proposal as to why vehicles would be so helpful to the Head Start program, especially in meeting the health needs of the children, getting them to medical appointments and getting them to WIC and community health centres, that sort of thing. And the other one is perhaps a little more complicated, and that is when we're talking about the need for upgrading our technology, because I'm sure everybody in this room has had their iPhone or their smartphone suddenly decide that it doesn't function anymore and it's not supported by, by the program plan or whatever. And that's been happening with our technology, in that we now need wireless access points and firewalls, because the system that supports them are no longer supported. And so if we don't upgrade them, then we're going to lose security and we're going to lose accessibility and functionality and internet speed. And basically, you can patch over it, but if anybody's tried operating on a obsolete electronic system, you know how frustrating it is. So that's the 2 components of the request. It's for the vehicles, and it's to keep our buildings, our Head Start buildings, secure, fast, safe, effective, basically, so that our staff and the parents who are using our Head Start buildings, because they are spaces where parents can come in and they can use our internet services, so that they, it's quite likely that they don't have internet connectivity at home. And so it's nice for them to be able to come to the Head Start buildings to make appointments, to research things that they need, to catch up with the Head Start curriculum. And all of that is nice for them to do, because they're now building a relationship with the Head Start teachers. They're in the stage where their children are, and it's because it's managed by because it's managed by Keystone Human Services, it is absolutely secure. That's also important because Head Start records are incredibly important. It follows the child throughout their academic years, and the information contained in it is confidential. So we must have secure internet systems and procedures. And as I say, beyond our choice, we have to have it. It's not like, oh, it'd be nice. This system is going away and it has to be upgraded. Would you like to talk a bit more about the need for the vehicles and how they would be
utilized? Yes, sure. Thank you. So the 2 vehicles that we're requesting from you guys at this moment would really help with our early Head Start staff, as well as some of our Head Start individuals as well. We have a requirement that all children must have a current physical. All children must have a dental exam. So getting those children to those appointments can sometimes be struggling. And even if they can't get to the appointments, we as an agency are held to that standard of everyone having that 100%. If they don't have it, we will get into a deficiency situation. So we try to do everything we can with the vehicles. We have a couple vehicles now and they're utilized heavily. So our intent is to get a little bit more on our fleet so that we can do those things. It might be taken on, like she referenced, Valerie referenced to the WIC appointments. It might be going to childcare consultants, Childcare Works, so that they can have their wraparound services. It might be getting out to a dentist. It might be as wildly as we just had we do eye exams and vision testing. And one of our students, we noticed something different with them and we drove them right up the shop. And they were going blind in their one eye. And without that vehicle, without that emergency, like being able to do that, that child potentially would have gone blind. So there's many, many stories like that. So these vehicles would help with that. It also will help with the staff going of the visits. Instead of using their personal vehicles, they can go out and do the home visits and travel to wherever those families are and do the home visits. Because that's also, of course, an early Head Start prenatal to 3, that's a requirement from Head Start and Head Start. They come out and do the home visits in there. So there's multiple purposes for the vehicles, making sure that they're safe, they're reliable. We've had larger vehicles, so we're looking to get the smaller SUV style vehicles. Parking in Harrisburg is great sometimes, and sometimes it's not, no matter where you are. So just parallel parking and getting in and out the safest way we can for our staff, as well as the families. Of course, our staff are always want to drive it, but they would drive the families to the different appointments. And I can talk a little bit about the internet when she was saying family. So what I've done as an executive director, I've been here for 6 years. I joke because it's 6 months before the world shut down is when I started with COVID. But coming out, I found that a lot of our parents like to come to our centers and they have those relationships with their teachers and they want to get a job or they want to get something. So they don't know how to start building a resume. So we've created, so one of my goals is to create spaces and have laptops available that they can go in and do that research and work with the teacher, whoever they feel most comfortable with. It might be a family support staff, but then they can work on building their resume and researching what they might want to do. So having the secure area, I'm not a tech person, but I know it needs to be secure and I know it's the best for our families, would be most beneficial.
Very good. Priority would be the security and like if you had to put the priorities on. And I don't want to tell you what your priorities are.
Right. I mean, they are both priorities. Obviously, there's no getting away from the fact that our security, system, the support network is becoming obsolete, and we don't have a choice. So I guess that is a priority. But equally, getting children to health appointments, which is a priority.
I think the one thing with the tech is if we don't get this fund, we'll use the grant fund, which takes things away from the children and the services we provide on another level. So if you look at it that way, like we're going to have to do it one way or the other.
So you're looking at a new type of software and security.
This is where we need our IT guy.
As I understand it, wireless access points are, and I did explain it in the proposal as best I could, but as I say, I'm not a tech person either. The wireless access points are necessary for the breadth that people, so you can put a lot of people onto the system and a lot of people can use it, and access to the printers and so on and so forth.
You're not looking to ship data to other facilities,
Oh, gosh.
other healthcare providers? This
No.
is all internal.
Internal. Yeah, as far as I'm aware, it's all internal.
And the requirement, because of obsolescence of your current
Current system.
infrastructure, is going to become obsolete and not serviceable by 26.
Come July 2026, they're going to stop supporting it, and everybody's, presumably with like running your phone or your anything.
We're getting, I think, close to our 10 minutes. First and foremost, what you guys do is amazing work. Your organization is phenomenal. You do some really important work. The total project's like 120,000. You requested 75,000. I saw in your presentation that about 73% of the 718 families are from Dauphin County. That sounded about right. So an overwhelming majority of the folks that you're servicing are from Dauphin County.
Yes.
And we consider that when we're looking at the allocation of the Gaming Advisory Board funds to see how it affects and impacts the residents of Dauphin County, as that's what the intent and purpose of the program is for. So certainly a great organization. What you guys do is amazing. And I just wanted to make sure that I was looking at the project correctly. For $120,000 project, you're looking at $75,000. It looks like the rest of the funding is there, which one way or another you're going to do it. If it's not funded through the Gaming Board Advisory Board, you just take monies away from programs that would have supported the kids. That's all the question.
Yes. Go ahead, Brett.
Just for the vehicles, is there any specialized fit out that's gonna be necessary?
No, we use the Ford Escapes, as our traditional vehicles that we've been getting, and there's no special fit out.
Okay, so it's just one child or one family at a time?
Exactly. Okay, yeah.
Thank you.
If you got less than that amount, would you just buy one?
We could. We make things work with what we get.
Ready? Mike? That was a presentation without notes. That was pretty impressive.
And thank you.
We know what we do.
Yes, sir.
It's obvious. Thank you, ladies.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank
Drive
you
safe.
very
It's
much.
getting better out there, by the way.
Good.
I need one call real quick, please.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry.
What do you want?
Good evening. Welcome to the Dauphin County Gaming Advisory Board. The night for the time and place for the presentation of your project with your grant application. I am speaking on behalf of Chairman Leonard. His voice is failing him this evening. So welcome. Tonight for your presentation, you'll have 15 minutes. And the way we're doing these is we're giving you 10 minutes for your presentation. We're going to set a timer and have kind of a hard stop at 10 minutes. And then we'll have 5 minutes for questions and answers. So if you would be gracious enough to introduce yourselves, let us know who you are and your capacity with the project, and then present your project to us. So welcome.
Nicole Conway. I am employed by the Dauphin Group, and I'm also Secretary of Friends of Union Green, which is the 501c3 that has submitted this application.
My name is Ralph Farton. I'm CEO of the Farton Group and President of the Friends of Union Green, representing on behalf of the application. Shall we proceed?
Yes.
We'll try and make our
Down button, Ralph.
down button.
Oh, and over here. Down button, and then if you need a laser, there's also a laser.
Very good. Thank you. Our company is the developer, the master developer of Susquehanna Union Green. It's a master plan community. And the project has a really intense public component. About 1/3 of the site is dedicated to public space. It's a formal part of the planning of the project. And then 1/3 is residential, and then 1/3 is commercial. The planning phase of the project took a long time. It was almost 3 years of planning in Susquehanna Township when the project kicked off in 2014 up to the date when the final master plan was finally put in place. So the philosophy of the planning part of the project was we want to get it right. I'm not trying to delay by any means, but it wasn't the goal wasn't to move as fast as possible, to do as good a job as possible. And that meant working closely with Susquehanna Township. So we really considered the 3 stakeholders broadly would be the development team, who's in charge of executing it, the municipal leadership, who's in charge of administering it, and then the public, who's responsible for being present, and they were present for public meetings and to give a lot of feedback. I think it generated like 17 iterations of the master plan, like public iterations of the master plan that were vetted and reviewed and critiqued. And the comment letters were enormous with all sorts of things to consider. And we would study one version versus another version. And the final version of the project centers around some of the important green spaces. And it's now featured in the Susquehanna Township comp plan, and it's a community focal point for Susquehanna Township. And the township, when it's doing comp planning, is obviously part of the Dauphin County's comprehensive plan. Highlight that specifically for this audience, because I know this is a county body, not a township body. So when we present the plans, Dauphin County does sit on the planning commission for Susquehanna, and as a planning officer who's always present and reviews everything. Actually, is quite conscientious, provides comment letters and feedback on submissions. And Friends of Union Green is a critical legal component of it. It's a 501c3. We stood it up as the developer. We stood up this 501c3 and created it. We created it with assistance of with the assistance of Dauphin County, who's a stakeholder. We pre-deeded the public spaces to Dauphin County. And this was to ensure they would be public for perpetuity. And it would also ensure the public could enjoy it, and it wouldn't be private property with private rules. It's truly public property. As part of that setup, as a developer, we retain responsibility to develop and to pay for it, to actually execute it and then raise the funds and execute these public improvements. And so Friends of Union Green was created as a vehicle so that we had a 501c3 framework with which to do the nonprofit side of fundraising, which is important in the phase we're in now, which is build out, but also in the ongoing phase to solicit volunteers, donations, community buy-in, all the things that are necessary, as with other Dauphin County parks, to ensure that they operate in the public interest in perpetuity. And heaven forbid we get hit by a bus today, but the framework is now in place. And the public parks, though, really form the spine of the site. At the top, the smallest of the parks is the Central Green. It's very specifically sized to be the host of the ice rink for the future. And it's a green space that was surrounded by clusters of commercial buildings. And this is where our pavilion is that we'll get to for this application. So that Central Green in the top is really meant to be compact. It's a all-weather turf surface, so it's not grass. It's actually artificial turf, and it's been pre-designed to be able to have a seasonal ice rink as far as the slope, the subgrade, most all the pieces of that central green are there. And it's actually complete. The project received grant funding from the Commonwealth, a RACP grant that was utilized to build that central green. So the green itself is complete and in place. The other two parts that form the main green spaces include the one in the middle, which is what we call Union Green Park, and Black Run Park. Black Run Park is also almost fully complete. There's a wetlands that was restored as part of the overall project. It has like a nice ecological component, ecological restoration component to the project. And there's also a small grant there from DCNR, provided a Greenways grant. Thank you for nodding. It was a Greenways grant for the construction of trails, walking paths. That grant agreement was actually this year in 2025, and we're in the process of administering it now to build out trails around Black Run Park. And so once the grant is there, and once the money is spent, then Black Run Park will be complete. Union Green Park is, the outside of it is built, the shell of it is built, the inside of it has not been built out. It's a field right now, so you could walk your dog there. But the formal program of that will follow, that's third in line after the completion of the Central Green Pavilion. The missing piece of the Central Green is the pavilion. There's a rendering of it. It's in the top, the very top of the screen is the pavilion, and in the middle is the actual Central Green. And the program for the pavilion is, it's a very small, physically it's a small building. It has a small kiosk, which is the part that you can see the lower area in the rendering, smaller roof, a really small kiosk, less than 200 square feet. And it's the size of a concession stand, and it can be used year round for concessions and events. And for the seasonal ice rink, it can be used to have a kiosk out of which to do like hot cocoa or to do skate rentals. Behind it, the bigger building is what we call back of house space for the parks, bathrooms, so that we don't have to have porta potties brought in and brought out, and a storage room to be able to store things like tables and chairs, to have a place for a Zamboni to actually be able to retreat to, because it's necessary to operating the rink, and just all, and the list can go on, but in other words, back of house space for supplies and storage for the Central Green. And so we received a subsequent RACP grant, which was, it's a smaller grant. It's $500,000 for the construction of that pavilion. And it's a lot of wind in our sails to know that the Commonwealth entrusted us second time with a follow-up RACP grant just to enhance the Central Green itself. And the subject of this application, that pavilion, the RACP grant is $500,000, and that's been approved. And then the overall project budget is a little over $600,000, $632,000. So our application to the board, as you know, is for the local share grant, subject to your approval, to the commissioner's approval. The amount we requested was $75,000. Obviously, that amount will be up to the commissioners, but the reason for our request is to try and get 2/3 of that gap that we have for the full pavilion budget. And we economized the pavilion budget as best we could. We maxed out the RACP of $500,000. So our RACP budget is like $505,000. And there's things that RACP just won't. So it's a finicky program, and there's do's and don'ts, like best practices, but there's always costs that are under the umbrella of that program. And we have to raise those from somewhere, including from this application. There's some aerial shots. This is actually like a little bit older. This is almost a year old now. There's a shot looking south from Lingelstown Progress towards Central Green in the middle of the photo. There's another shot, actually slightly different angle, an aerial shot.
Help me out with some bearings here, like,
yeah,
where's like Progress Avenue, where's Lincolntown Road?
Let me go back. So Progress Avenue is on the right.
Do you have a point?
This is Progress Avenue.
That's Progress Avenue. And
here's Lingelstown.
Okay.
And we're facing south. So down there is Swissera Township or something back there. I-83 is going to be in that direction. Blue Ridge is going to be in this direction. Front go that way to go towards Front Street. Okay. And in the next photo, we change directions here. So in this photo, you can only see Lingelstown Road. And this faces northeast. And there's the Blue Ridge. Blue Ridge Country Club, Blue Mountain. Does that help?
Yeah.
The project does have a local impact. jobs during construction, and then on stabilization, there's a commercial component and a residential component with all these jobs, contractors who service residents. There's an economic impact and there's a fiscal impact, which is ramped up now with the project. It's pretty significantly built out. And as far as current bring down on the work that's in place in the public space, as I mentioned, there's the Central Green, the Union Green Park, and the Black Run Park. The Black Run Park is fully funded, just not fully complete yet. We have to build out those trails, and that remaining portion represents the Greenways grant to be expended. Union Green Park is still in the next in line. We have not tackled that one yet. And Central Green, this is the green itself. It's in place, and the remaining budget is all the pavilion. So the totality of the budget for all the public space for Union Green.
We are at 10 minutes.
Great, that's longer than I thought it would.
Great.
We're done.
Mr. Smith, we'll start with you.
I go through the right now, how much would I see of the green spaces you're talking about? It seems like there's 3 parts to it.
Right.
And you said one was already completed and the 2
Right.
were sort of like.
Right. Let me see if I can indicate on an aerial what you would see. This, you won't be able to see the wetlands. There's a wetlands restoration, and it's the way a wetland is, it lies low. So you're not going to pick it up on the aerial. That wetlands restoration is complete. I don't think I have it in the slide pack, but I think the last slide pack I did was like an appendix with extra photos in there. I apologize, it's not on my fingertips today. And this is the Union Green Park here. The space itself is fully framed. You could walk your dog there. You couldn't do anything else. It's like a passive, it's like a meadow right now.
And this whole area would be open to the public, not just the people that live there.
So the central, yes, and they're open to the public now. The Central Green is open. The deer use it a lot, and people have been using it this most recent year since it was completed. We have not officially cut a ribbon or invited the public there yet. There still is construction on site, and we're trying not to make a big fuss to invite people to come and start throwing frisbees when they might accidentally like throw the frisbee a little too far and get materials across the street. So we have kept a low profile, but it's actually complete, and members of the public are welcome to use it.
Mr. Emerson?
So who's gonna own the parks?
The parks are already owned by the county.
Okay.
When we conveyed them, we did it with the development agreement, and we retained the responsibility to raise the funds and actually execute the improvements.
And then this pavilion is built so the county will run, like, giving out the ice skates and having people pay to skate, or how's that?
No, and that's why we set up the nonprofit Friends of Union Green. And that's the 501c3 with the mission of supporting public enjoyment of the green spaces. So Friends of Union Green will be like the entity through which all the nonprofit activities at the pavilion would take place.
So to piggyback off of what he just asked you, those parks, if you said they're owned by the county, but they won't fall under the county umbrella of parks.
No, the county doesn't pay for them. That was part of the conveyance. The Union Green as a whole actually pays for the maintenance of the parks. Unit owners on the project, when they pay assessments to maintain the overall property, and that includes things like landscaping. It actually includes the parks as well. So the only thing that we do with the county is we get a lot of moral support. We are able to call Parks Director, and she'll meet with us and give us good advice and say, here's things that we did and that were successful, and here's things we recommend you do. And then also we use it as a great excuse to come before the board, and because the project is really the county is one of the key partners on the community space for Union Green. We consider it a regional community asset. So we use that as the umbrella with which to make an application like this, to request support to build it out to the best of our ability.
But the parks will also be available for if the county says we have an event we'd like to do there, they can. So whether it's, a wine or beer festival, something like that, or an arts event, local arts organizations want to host an outdoor theater performance, it's anticipated, our plan is that could be done here.
I'm trying to wrap my head around this. So I see a development, a business venture, most of which a land development plan would say that in order to be approved, so much of it has to be dedicated to recreation or pay a fee in lieu of to the municipality for the construction of the park elsewhere. So how, if we would fund this, what would prevent the next developer that buys a large farm that says, well, we're gonna build out this development, but we don't really want to pay for the park improvements ourselves. We're gonna raise funds or ask the gaming advisory board to pay for them. So what I just, as a layperson, and you need to help explain this to me, as a layperson, I see a developer that built a big project, but now is looking for other people to pay for the parks, which are probably required as part of the land development plan. I don't know. Help me understand how this private development becomes responsibility of like the county to build out the open spaces for your development.
Right, so it's not the county's responsibility. We did retain the responsibility to raise the funds and to execute the improvements. As far as there are local requirements in Pennsylvania to provide recreational facilities or fee in lieu of. And I'd have to get back to you.
Keep it in layperson terms, like, did your company pay a fee in lieu of in any way for this project? Like,
well, we had the option of doing one or the other. And if, in order to actually create facilities, which is what we've done here, it has to be acceptable to the township and it has to exceed the cost of the fee in lieu of. As a developer, if it helps explain the thinking about it, we have actually spent out of pocket over way more than the fee in lieu of.
Okay.
So it's the difference of leverage of funds. So we spent like maybe, let's say, over $1 million of private funds for, motivation is by what is best outcome for the community outcome for the project.
I understand.
And so we could either have $1 million of improvements in the project, or we could have $7 million of improvements that were leveraging the initial million. Million doesn't go very far.
Nope, I understand that.
And the fee in lieu of doesn't go very far. The fee in lieu of would ultimately go to a fund, and they would potentially use it by pooling with multiple developments. In layperson's terms, they would ultimately build, something like a soccer field, or they would maybe expand an existing park or resurface an existing park. But the specifics here were different because Springfield Township is the fastest growing township in Dauphin County over the last 25 years. And there is nothing comparable. There's no town center. There's no comparable public space that creates a community focused one like this. There are beautiful features in the amenities.
I'm not saying it's not a super idea and it's really great, but then this is going to probably open a floodgates for the next project, the next project. So I think I just need to understand how.
We do hope that's the case. I do strongly feel that this is the correct form of development.
Partnership.
To spend the extra time up front to plan it, to closely integrate private and the public components the way all great communities do, and to make sure that everybody wants the same outcome, and everybody uses their resources, their limited resources, in a way that maximizes the overall public benefit.
So anyone in the county could go and use those facilities. So like a homeowners association or whatever you may have there, they can't prevent or keep people out of it because we've all heard stories about how that could play out. So anyone could just take their family, take their kids, go there, and it's open to the public.
Exactly.
Okay.
That was the important part for the county, stepping up and providing that role of the public sponsor. So you tell anybody it is a public park, it belongs to the community.
I'm not asking a pointed question because I have an issue with the project. I just need to know because we're all responsible to a lot of people that ask us about all these projects. So I just need to be able to answer.
That's a good question.
But if I'm asking it, someone else is going to ask it. So I'd rather have the factual information to answer.
I'm Armenian. You didn't use any bad words, and growing up, getting pointy questions from my old man.
Well, thank you.
was very different.
I appreciate it. It looks like a really, really well thought out involved project.
Thank you. It's complex, and it takes a lot. It takes a lot. We really appreciate your consideration. Appreciate all the county does throughout the county, even specifically to make the project as possible. And if we did it without public support, if it was just only a private effort, it wouldn't look like this.
Well, it's been interesting to watch the project evolve. So thank you.
Thank you. Thank you for your time.
Brett?
I don't have anything. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you so much.
Bye, thank you.
Yep, have a good night. Drive safely.
Thank you very much.
All right, Harrisburg.
Happens all the time.
Apologize.
Don't worry about it.
I wouldn't make
Good
it.
evening.
I wouldn't make a mistake if I thought.
We don't know. So. Good evening, how are you?
Hello.
Thank you for traversing the weather tonight. Thank you for coming to the Dauphin County Gaming Advisory Board meeting night for you to present your project and your proposal. This is your time and your place to do that. You are provided with a 15-minute block of time to share with us tonight. We will have 10 minutes for you to present your project, and then 5 minutes will be earmarked for us to ask and have questions answered for your project. So what we'll do is we'll set a timer, and at the 10-minute mark, if you're not done, we'll let you know the 10 minutes has elapsed. So to start, we would ask each of you to introduce yourselves, your involvement with the project, and then when you're ready, you can present the project to us. All right.
So power clicker, if you hold it and it's the left down button, will present it. Yeah, and you're, there you go.
I missed it.
There you go. Okay, you're the clicker, you can go first.
All right, that's fine. I'm Gabe Sylvie. I'm the CA technician who oversees our greenhouse.
Roxanne Lehman, I'm the Director of Corporate and Foundation Relations. So I helped put the grant application together with Pam.
I'm Pam Lambert, Chief Planning Officer.
This is a presentation for our university's on spring. What our greenhouse focuses on is CEA, which is controlled environmental agriculture, which is just a way of thinking differently about agriculture that is in a confined space, such as a greenhouse. Hydroponics or aquaponics system to get your crop yield. So the way our system works is that we actually have a large fish tank that row out tilapia in, and those fish's waste produces the fertilizer for the crops. Several other hydroponic systems that are using that water to grow crops. So, our focus though, with it being college active, that we have to meet certain industry standards. So everything research focused, we abide by IACUC, which is IACUC, which is the safety and moral compass essentially for everything that includes the fish. We have to make sure that they have certain parameters met as they're living, as they're harvested, and database practices. So can you guys read that okay, or do you want me to read it to you?
You're good.
Then I am a newer employee. I just started back in September. So my predecessor actually was around for most of these. These are some of our alumni that have been part of the greenhouse and that have gone on and used what they've learned to move on their career. Right?
Mm-hmm.
If someone can click on a link, that will take us to an actual 3D mapping of the inside of the greenhouse.
You did me a favor.
Yes.
I'm a little hard of hearing, so can you maybe
Speak up. Okay, I'm sorry. I don't want to blow people's ears out.
Is there sound?
No sound. But if you want, you can kind of explore and move around and show everybody else as we go around. And I can just kind of name things. Oh, there we go.
Yeah, you just.
I'm gonna give this to you.
Yeah.
There you go, sir.
Thank you.
Yeah.
All right. See anything?
I don't know if it will, because I don't see that on my computer.
Okay.
So I
Is
don't.
this a secondary display?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Which direction do I need to go?
Oh, I don't know.
Oh, yep. There's one. There we
There we
go.
go. There we go.
All right, excellent. So from here you can see this is the center of our greenhouse. These to the right are the fish tanks. We have 3 separate tanks over here that house our smaller size fish, and these is what what we start to do in these 3 separate tanks is create a staggered growth cycle, so that as they age out over the course of about 39 weeks, they're able to be harvested at a continuous rate. This way. So 3 smaller tanks, they're about 200 gallons each, attached to a biofilter, and this is what actually creates the fertilizer, this white canister right there. As water flows through there that has been filtered out by our drum filter here, it actually transforms through 2 separate bacterial structures that will change the ammonia into nitrite into nitrate, which is what plants can actually use. So this system is self-contained just so we can keep closer eye on the younger fish. But over here is the large fish. You see huge, right? These are all looped into this NFT system here, which is a nutrient film technology. And these are water runs down these channels, and that water is full of nutrition for all the plants to grow. They have their own consistent grow lights that are matched to sun timings and whatnot. Up top, there's an actual shade that will come depending on the greenhouse, so it doesn't get too hot. This is the biofiltration for this side. This is an aquaponic deep water culture bed. What makes this one different is the fact that this side is looped into the fish. The other ones throughout the rest of the greenhouse are not. This has about 18 inches of water underneath it with a styrofoam topper, and the plants are placed on top of the styrofoam topper, and then they grow from there. So you can actually have a loop system themselves. And these are media beds right next to them. These are some clay beads that really fit in. It's better for plants that need a more structured root system to kind of support themselves, just like tomato plants, and they're better for recurring harvest crops. These systems can all be run into the fish, but are currently not, just for the needs of it. Beforehand, they were more research focused, and for the years since I've been in, just recently, we decided to change from a research focus to a production focus, because what we do with our crop, we don't just hold on to it, we actually donate it to Downtown Daily Bread. That's
Super. There we go.
There we go. And then this moves on to our second priority in with the greenhouse. It's addressing food insecurity in central Pennsylvania, namely Harrisburg. We're going to focus on our town first. You guys have heard the concept of a food desert. It refers to the fact that in certain urban areas, you don't have a lot of access to fresher foods or even food at all. So your only options turn into being restaurants or fast food chains. There isn't really anything you can get to because I'm trying to think right now, is there a grocery store in downtown here? Exactly. So as far as affordable food options that are a little better for you, people can have access to that. And these are some quick statistics of everything that happened in 2024 as far as our donations, with 15,000 heads of leafy greens, 300 pounds of green vegetables, and 400 pounds of fresh fish donated all to Downtown Daily Bread, another nonprofit that we work with. And that's where all of our stuff is going for the past year. We also have a secondary greenhouse that is located in the Whitaker Center. And those we do keep for ourselves, we give out to our students, but it's a much smaller yield, maybe only 30-ish heads of lettuce per week. It's way, way down. We do have community support from other nonprofits and other businesses. We received $25 million from this in late 2023. That supported most of 2024's work. This is just our third priority, going back to what I said at the beginning, that we follow as many industry standard protocols as possible in terms of quality control, safety, and health standards, just so that all of everything we put out is safe.
Committee?
Not yet. Good. I'm passing for now.
So this, your program teaches kids how to do all this, right? And then you take the product and you donate it to kids. And the 75,000 that you're asking for is to expand the site at the Salem Fire School.
Okay, so we're here and we did speak a little bit to Brooke. We want to see if we can repurpose the grant just a little bit for two different reasons. So the founder of the Steelton greenhouse has just stepped back and she's going to go part-time, but she's still going to teach on faculty and be involved with the hydroponics. And since she's stepping back and we've had a little bit of a decrease in the students that on campus that want to participate in the program, and we won't know till fall how many have enrolled in the next program. He mentioned it, we have a greenhouse, a smaller one on the second floor of the Whitaker Center, and we'd like to expand that one on the Whitaker Center. Gage is still there, we still have our student workers, and then the students wouldn't have to travel necessarily the whole way to Steelton. And we could expand it. So we'd like to expand that section and have you help with the pieces of that. And then we would be able to provide refrigeration unit on campus so that the students would have more readily available fresh fruit and vegetables that would last. Because right now, whatever comes out, it's got to be distributed instantly because there's nowhere to keep it cold. And then we would still, with the expansion, be able to help our Daily Bread with some of their fruits and vegetables. We would, if you're in agreement with it, we'd go back. We're in the process, if you do the go-ahead, to get some more bids to have the second floor renovated of the Whitaker Center.
Of the Whitaker Center.
Yes.
And then what happens to the sites?
We're not sure what's going to happen if with Rachel stepping back, if we'll continue it or we're not going to expand it. So we didn't want to do the expansion part of it. And there is some work that needs to be done to upgrade some of the system. But that's a little more iffy. And this is more, yes, we're going to do it and be able to do it. So we wanted to repurpose and expand on campus rather than the greenhouse.
Because it seems like you have a lot of space down there in Steelton.
We have a huge amount of space.
Down in Steelton.
We do. And then we have some here. It's just, I think the $75,000 will go a lot further in expanding here than expanding there. That will take much more.
Yeah.
And it's a little iffy as to, with Rachel's leaving, what's going to happen. And we wanted to not come here and still propose that and then find out that we're not going to expand in Steelton and then not be able to use your funding.
Is this on the school district's property?
It's right there. It's right outside the high school. It's right to the, at least from the back end, it's on the right where the solar panels are.
Okay.
So we use their solar energy.
So I would imagine you also use their security, because that's quite an investment you got there.
It is.
So you're using the school district's security
Yes.
Yes.
in
We have-
kind?
We have on-site surveillance that runs through, it runs their surveillance as opposed to ours. So I have to have dual clearances to be able to look at the greenhouse and make sure it's okay.
And right now, Gage has to feed the fish on campus and go out to Steelton because it's a 24/7. They don't take off for Christmas. And then we would get our bids and then have them back to you at the very latest January 23rd. Our goal is to try to do it the week before, but we want it to be realistic because we'd have to work with our facility folks, talk to the Whitaker Center, which isn't going to be a problem. But Gage needs to design out what that space is going to look like and get some bids for it.
How many students are currently in the program at Steel High? Like as of right now, in this year's semester, how many students are in the program at Steel High?
None, so the high school is not involved this semester.
At all, so there's no students involved.
Not the high school students, but they will, in the past, they've come through,
As far as student involvement, we have our students with HU that are student workers. We also offer volunteering if any of the other students want to come out, or if there's something else like a project 1 or project 2 for their later years, such as junior or senior year. And then we do offer frequent tours for other high schools in the area. They were much more prevalent before I was there. I've done 2 since I've been in, one with Hershey and one with, I'm sorry, CCA.
Is the Steel and Ice Bar still producing? Is that facility producing as of right now?
yes,
Fish?
Yeah, I was there this morning.
yeah,
Okay,
and the
so-
tilapia is given to Our Daily Bread.
So they just take the whole fresh fish and then they process it. I was looking, it's a lot of food that is estimated. So, the analytical lab equipment's $308,000. Is that to outfit a new facility?
Yes, so we were going to expand it and do other fish because tilapia is.
Trout and bass.
Yes,
So when I'm looking at your project, so it's basically to build a new facility.
it was a piece of that, yes.
And then will you abandon the steel hive? Will that be abandoned and be discontinued?
We're not sure.
The goal is
I'm not
for us to
sure.
have two greenhouses. As of right now, with the way certain things have gone, the status of the current greenhouse is in flux. So our goal with this grant is to focus on the Whitaker Center and to transition it into being our primary producer.
I understand.
So we don't have a major difference in yield, but it's really hard to fight when I have a 3,000 square foot greenhouse.
Right.
And I have to transition to a 400. So
And I'm sorry, we're running already out of time,
Really
but
quick.
assistant farm manager, a CEA technician, and then student workers. How many people do you need to actually make it produce, to run it? Like how can you assure that you're gonna have enough staffing to make it work?
Run it right now. Great. Right now, making it work is me and 2 consistent student workers.
Okay.
And we aren't having any issues.
Okay, and then final question I have is estimated operation, it says $75,000. What are those operational costs for $75,000? What does that mean?
We're going to repurpose that now, and that would be to double the size of what's currently at the Whitaker Center.
When I say operation, does that mean like electric?
So operational expenses come down to maintenance costs, such as the equipment that's in the current greenhouse is 12 years old. So when plastic is required with UV, like UV lighting in there, it's just break down the time. So that's just anticipated 75,000.
Okay.
You know,
I understand. I thought that would be like ongoing operational
No.
expenses.
No, we actually surprisingly we have very low expenses right now.
Okay.
Because Steelton is, we don't pay them rent
Right,
and they handle our electric because they have solar panels.
right.
And then we just use water.
All right. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
You good?
Right.
Okay.
Just to make sure I'm understanding, so for the repurposed grant, it's gonna be specifically for equipment that's necessary for the Whitaker Center.
Correct.
So when you are saying you're gonna you're gonna put bids out, that's not necessarily, that's part of the project cost, but that's not replacing any information that we need to know. You just want $75,000 for equipment, right?
And that's to make a new facility in the Whitaker
And
Center.
then, yes, we
Okay,
have
thank
one there, but we want to expand
Understood.
it.
Okay, great. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
I talked to them and they know this, so everything. that
Thank
they
you
get
so much.
from
It
Whitaker
sounds a very
right now.
interesting project. Thank you.
So we just send it to you?
Yeah, just send me whatever you have and I'll make it.
Okay, thank you very much.
You're welcome. Have a good night.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Drive safe.
Yep, thanks.
We'll have a quorum with 3, so if you don't.
No. I appreciate that.
Fair housing.
Good evening.
Good.
How are you? Welcome.
How are you?
Welcome to the Dauphin County Gaming Advisory Board. Tonight is your time and your place to present your grant project. I'm here speaking on behalf of Chairman Leonard. He is kind of under the weather. His voice is failing him. So I welcome you and thank you for coming here tonight. We have earmarked 15 minutes for you to present your project and discuss your grant. We're going to set a timer when you start for 10 minutes. And at 10 minutes will be a hard stop or let you know 10 minutes have expired. And then we'll have 5 minutes for questions and answers. So what I would ask you to do for the board is introduce yourselves and what your capacity is with your project. And then when you're ready, you can present your project to us. So welcome and thank you for being here.
Thank you for having us. I appreciate the opportunity this evening to discuss our project. I'm Rhonda Mays. I'm the Executive Director of the Fair Housing Council of the Capital Region. We're located at 6th and McClay in Harrisburg. And with me this evening is our IT contractor who has been with us for well over a decade now and is responsible for keeping all of our computer equipment up and running to his best capacity. And his name is William Jones, and he is J-Tech Computers.
Welcome both of you.
Thank you. So tonight I just wanted to start with our projects. Basically, we have, or I have submitted to you a priority of projects that we would like to be able to have the capacity to complete. The first priority is our sprinkler system. The sprinkler system is the last part of the apartment renovation that has been going on since 2017. And through the generosity of Dauphin County, through previous local share for previous phases, and also Harrisburg City and the state of Pennsylvania, we were able to get all the way up to this fourth and final phase, which is ongoing right now. But the apartments still need the sprinkler system. Because of some increases in material and supply costs, as well as more labor that was necessary. I had indicated in the application that we were able to submit to the contractor $12,000, and I found out from our prime contractor that no, he needed to utilize the funds for the actual renovation project. So I kind of took that 59,000 out, and I'm asking for the entire $71,000 for that project. We cannot rent the apartments until that sprinkler system is in. So the other project, of course, is the IT portion. Our computer systems have been not running yet. They're well past their end of use. I think J-Tech Computers has their estimate in there to replace the hardware, the software. My phone in my office is not working at all. There's no service, and we have Vonage because they're computer-based systems, our telephone systems, and they said that it's so past its useful life at this point that they can't even update it. So as the executive director, I'm in an office without a phone, and I have every time the phone rings, someone wants to speak to me, I have to run out of my office and go to the outer offices and borrow someone else's phone. And also the federal government that comes in and reviews our capacity and our work every other year, every year. If they need to, we have a 2-year approval. We just went through an approval process received a 2-year approval back in March. So they won't be back in again until 2027. But when they do come in, they want to see that we are utilizing our computer systems more than we are now. Because they want everyone to stop using paper as much and start using computer systems. And in fact, they don't even come in to do, in-person site visits anymore. I have to send everything to them electronically. And of course, our federal reporting is electronic. So as I indicated in the application, there are concerns with computer security, capacity, because of course we do financial management, homebuyer education, other projects that we have. We collect a lot of very, very sensitive information, and we need to make sure that it's protected. So those are my two main projects. Lower down on the list is our parking lot. For some reason, it's backing up, and when we have a moderate rain, doesn't have to be a lot of rain, it floods. So of course our property insurance does not like that situation in our parking lot. I don't know why it's doing that, but it's kind of down on the list because we could go ahead and do that project ourselves, particularly since I am requesting the 71K instead of the 59K that I was requesting for the sprinkler system. So if that was, so I just said, okay, I can try to make a way and, possibly make an agreement with the contractor who is going to clean that out and open up that drain. And also the bathrooms. We have good community support. I could probably get some in-kind work to scrape that off and be paid. Maybe we can, utilize some of the apartment funds to replace fixtures. So that's also down on the priority list, and I wouldn't even mind rescinding that request. And of course, there's the small amount for the glass door, which several months ago, someone was walking by. I don't know, they smashed the window, but fortunately, we're in a bank with very reinforced, the fixtures there. They couldn't get through the door because it's a bank door. It's very fortified building. So I did have some updated pictures. I can send those to you or send them to Ms. Logger through the email, or Mr. Conner, if you wanted them, I can give them to you. To show where the thank you, I have some more. Where the project was and where the project is now. So we are almost completed. We have one, all of those are just one.
Oh, these are all one pack. Oh, it's one pack.
So I can give you what I have. So I through the county HOP grant, or ERA 2, that most of us know it by, we were able to get phase 4 done, as I had indicated, and I anticipate that that project will be fully completed within the next couple of weeks. We do have one person at this point that is really ready to move in by January 1. Per the contract with the county, we can only grant those 5. We have 8 altogether. the 5 that's part of this last part of this renovation can only be rented to very low income, not low, but very low income. So we've been working with other organizations that do one-to-one counseling that they have identified are in need of housing that is geared towards the very low income community. So as you can see, the first couple of pictures were the before pictures. We're going on to.
And we're at 10 minutes already.
Oh, okay.
So, I guess what we have to do is kind of summarize where we're going. We see your building, so you did a tremendous amount of work in the building. It looks
Yes.
really good. And we, in our synopsis of the project, it looks like the way they're listed, technology upgrades, like you talked about, for your computers and phones, $8,540. Sprinkler system was 59, but that's actually 71,000. Did you say? The office bathroom fixtures repainting 11,455. Parking lot drainage 2,500, and then 505 for that. So, are they the 5 items that you're really looking for some assistance and support with?
Yes.
And which is the most priority of all those? Which is the most?
Sprinkler system.
Without that, you can't have people move in.
Right.
And at this point in the project, it looks like some of the work is done. Will they still be able to put sprinklers in even though the repairs are done?
Yes, the contract.
We'll be able to do that. Okay. That's my question.
Where's this apartment building located?
6th and McClay.
And your office is in the same door?
Yes, on the bottom floor in the apartment on top. One is on the, we also have a handicapped accessible, ADA accessible unit that's on McClay Street. That's our annex building. That's also part of this renovation.
Then is there an actual quote from the sprinkler contractor? Is there like an actual quote or proposal?
I do have that.
You're at 6th and McClay, you're in that old bank building.
Yes, sir.
Did you have that in your original application?
Yeah, yes, I did. Have both, the fire protection and, JTech computer.
Give us the broke sheet.
I was gonna say, can we keep that, or do you need?
Yes, no,
Thank you.
I have other copies.
And then, ma'am, finally, how do you support your operational costs? Like, without grants for capital projects, how do you fund your operational costs for your organization? How do you do that?
Those are funded through grants, usually CDBG, some bank sponsorships, and foundation support.
Thank you.
And one other question. You have to determine, or already have determined what the computer needs are. Yes. And do you have a certain type of computer or system in mind for this?
Yes, she requested that we use HP's product. HP. So for the computers, laptops and computers, we're talking about HP. For the switches, we're looking at Netgear. And for the AP, we're looking at Netgear. Plus the wiring also, which would be Cat 6 wiring, plenty in case of fire.
Okay.
Now, just to clarify, most of our work is done not on Wi-Fi cloud, but because of the security needs, they're all hardwired into the building.
Thank you very much.
Because your information is going to the federal government, have they insisted on a certain type of software?
No, they don't require it.
Okay.
Just that it's very secure and that they want our systems to be office-based, hardwired into the office.
Thank you so much. Very good. Very good presentation. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Appreciate your time.
Thank you.
Was it still snowing when you came in?
It stopped around 6 o'clock, I think.
You're nice.
Thank you for your service.
You're welcome.
Have a good Christmas.
Okay,
Yes,
goodbye.
take care.
All right, let's see. Asian Refugees United, is that right?
Yep. And this is still on 18.
Yeah, maybe that was their.
Wow.
I think this is just the same. So, yes, I think it is. I think she was mistaken. This next was.
Asian refugee.
Yes.
Good evening, everyone.
Yeah.
Yes, thank you for being here tonight. Is your dedicated time and place to present your project for your grant to the Dauphin County Gaming Advisory Board. We have allotted 15 minutes of time for you to make your presentation. We're going to set a timer. Oh, they have 30? Casa de Harmony, is it the same one?
Yeah, the old schedule, yesterday when we came out there. So yes, they do only have 15 minutes because they
Okay,
were originally
right.
split. I'm sorry. Yes.
So 10 minutes for your presentation. We'll set a timer, and then 5 minutes for us to ask questions and have some questions answered. So what we'd like you to do is start by introducing yourselves. Tell us who you are and what you do with your organization. And after you make the introduction, then go ahead and present. You can present your project to us and go from there. Okay, so thank you, welcome, and when you're ready to begin, go ahead.
Sure. I can begin. My name is Pratik Chatri, and I am the program manager of Asian Refugees United.
My name is Kamana Damal. I'm the education coordinator at Asian Refugees United.
Hello, everyone. My name is Bhagwan Dual. I am the rapid response coordinator at Aru.
My name is Rina.
Can we get started?
You sure?
Sure can.
Yeah.
Thank you for having us. As we mentioned in the application packet, since the pandemic, there was a lot of secondary migration of especially Vietnamese refugees to Central Dauphin, especially in Harrisburg area, right? And our estimation is upwards of 50,000 Nepali speaking Vietnamese community lives here. To give you a little bit of background, the refugee community was resettled to the United States between 2008 and 2020. This is a very new immigrant community, not just to Harrisburg area, but to the country as well. Our organization exists to empower the community in many ways. And the way we do it is through youths primarily, very intentionally, because youths from our community are bilingual, bicultural, a lot of times, translator for the whole extended family, system navigator. So we'll largely talk about two different programs within ARU that we applied for. The First Step Forward, which is the high school success program, and the Soccer for Success program, which is a health and physical component to it. That's our team. Some of us are behind us as well to support us. So these are the four areas that we work on. As I said, we largely focus on youth-focused programs for youth, with youth, in many cases. So the education program, that's where the First Step Forward, we'll talk a little bit more about. We also have very prominent arts and storytelling program, in which we largely bring in largely young adults and youths from our community, and they bring in their stories, the stories of their family, of the community, and turn them into performances. Some of the performances have been, shown in San Francisco, DC, and Harrisburg as well. We also work with in civic engagement because, as I said, a lot of our community members, even in their 60s and 70s, they are first-time voters in their lifetime, not just in this country. But for the sake of today's program, we'll focus on education and the Software Success Program.
So as Pratik already introduced, we have First Step Forward's program. I became a part of Asian Refugees United in 2022, where I developed a strong passion for education. So, like he said, we came from the refugee camps of Nepal. My family immigrated in 2010, but my father was the oldest of his family. My mother was also the oldest of her family. I came from a family where both my mom didn't speak English, my dad didn't speak English, and both of them had no formal education. So coming here at the age of 5, I was navigating the education system as well as learning how to speak English. For me, this was really hard. I went through middle school. Eventually, I got out of ESL, got into an honors program, and I did fairly well. In high school, I was introduced to this program that my brother went through as well. And for me, I identified such a strong passion that I had towards education because that's what I saw such a lack of in my community. Through this program, I learned so much about like my culture and like the roots and stuff like that. But also I saw we did like a poll for like how many dropout rates are there in the Harrisburg area, because around me, not many of the students were going to school because they had to like support their families as well. Because without speaking English, it's really hard to get a job in America, right? So as we did the poll, we saw that there was such a high increase in the dropout rates. So then I decided then that I wanted to be one of the change makers. So coming to this program, we developed a presentation for the community leaders, and we were like, hey, there's such a high dropout rate in this area. What can we do to like make sure that these students finish high school, but then also pursue secondary education? And then you can't be what you can't see. So at home, if there's no one who is going to college or pursuing that education, how are you expected to go through and navigate that? And when I joined the program, I was in 11th grade. I was also going through the college process, applying to schools and everything like that. So I saw such a need for someone to like help me navigate it. And I decided like that's who I wanted to be. Coming into this program, I had people like Pratik, Robin, and everyone in the team who enabled us as youth to identify the problems in our community and also make solutions. So then the education program decided to develop First Step Forward. The first cohort had 9 students. You can see many of them in the pictures there. And in the program, we taught them everything from like financial aid to the college like pathway, like what you should do when, because that's also super important. We taught them about early decision, early action. So the first cohort got a lot of that, but we did it in the spring semester. So like a lot of the seniors had already applied to schools. This year we decided to increase the number from 9 to 20 because we had already developed the system. And within that, many of the students have written their personal statements, their FAFSA is done, and their personal statements are already done. So a lot of them have already applied to some of the schools that they want to go into. And this is like a huge difference from like the first one where we couldn't really help them apply. And I think one of our students actually got into Questbridge. So that's like a full ride scholarship as well. The cohort members that we had in the first one, they actually serve as volunteers now. So we have Pritam, Prayas, and Alisa who are now like volunteers because they already graduated. But we have a junior with us today who is now a senior. So she's gone through 2 cycles of the whole cohort, and she's going to explain a little bit more about her experience.
So I've been involved with ARU since I was about 13 years old, and it has definitely given me a space to become a better student. And not just a student, but also a person and a leader. One of my earliest experiences with ARU was the first leadership training. I remember sitting in a group of around 6 to 7 people and being asked what is most needed in our community. And the idea that our group came up with was a community center. A place where people could be safe place where people could be seen, a place where people could be supported. And at the time, I definitely did think it was like a far-fetched idea, but now I can see that ARU embodies that definition, not just as the youth center, as a building, but also as an organization. Last year, as Namini said, I was part of the first cohort of the first cohort program. I always thought that I was more social than the next person, and I quite frankly did not believe that it was going to be very beneficial to me in the long run. But as the program went on, it became a place where I could hone my skills. I remember in this moment in the program where I thought to myself, I have potential to be someone great. I have potential to do great things. And through the program, I can believe this because of my mentors, and Austin Haru, because they're so vocal about their beliefs. They're so vocal about what I can do and what I can achieve. Through the program, I grew in confidence, self-awareness, and I think most importantly, purpose. I learned more about how to navigate systems that weren't really built for us, and how to also stay rooted in my identity while stepping into leadership roles. Being part of the first cohort also meant helping shape the future of the second one. It's honestly amazing to see how much growth there is just not even a year, half a year, and how much my mentors strive to make the program better for not just students, but also our community. One example of this is we recently went to UPenn as a college tour. I brought my mom along with me to show like what the college life is. And as an immigrant, it's not, the Ivy League is like a dream that's really far. But before the program, like, again, I thought it was a dream I couldn't pursue because of the lack of support. But on that tour, I remember being able to like look around and like see myself there, see myself as a person going to an Ivy League as an immigrant. And that hope that was instilled in me didn't just reach me, but also all the other peers and personally also my mom. My story is just one of the many that have been impacted by ARU, and I definitely do believe that they will impact many to come.
So we're at the 10-minute mark.
Okay.
Okay. So what I'd like to do is open it up for questions now by the board members. Smitty, you can go first. Do you have any questions from the panel? Later?
Yeah.
Mr. Rivers?
Yeah, just a couple questions. First, I appreciate your stories. I think it's great, and for you to come here 5 years old and couldn't speak the language. Did you go to college now?
I do. I go to Penn State Harrisburg. I'm a pre-med student, hoping to be a doctor.
Yeah, nice.
That's great.
That's the American dream, like right there. You came here, and I appreciate that. Just some questions about the grant. So one of the things that you're asking for is you want to rent space for $20,000. I'm assuming that's a yearly cost. One of the concerns and things that this board looks at is sustainability. So if you were to get the grant, what's your plan to, pay that the year after, like continue to pay those expenses?
Right.
What other funds do you have?
We do have, one of additional role that another hat that I wear within ARU is also a grant writer. And also we have other grant writers, development officers from our fiscal sponsor who also help us out. So we do have a couple of funders who support different parts of our different programs. So for example, for storytelling, we got some grants from TFEC, the Foundation for Enhancing Communities. There's another organization, foundation based in New York, who supports to cover some of the expenses of the youth center. So it's so far like we've been running different programs on limited resources. I think one of the things if we get this grant is to scale up, to open up these programs, existing programs, to more students. So for step forward, right now we have 23 students. next year our goal is to reach 35 to 40, also including non-Vietnamese community. So far, I think as an organization, we made a decision we wanted to perfect the program first within the community that we're comfortable in before we invite others. For Soccer for Success, because of time, we could not talk about it. So far, we've served like 480 students already, and already it's open for not just Vietnamese but also non-Vietnamese kids in the community as well. Yeah, I hope that partially answers your.
And just one more follow-up question. Sure. And then everyone has questions. So the first year of your program, you had 23 high school students, and this one you have 35. So of those 23, how many have gone to higher education technology?
Sorry, we had 9 students in the first one. We have 23 right now.
Okay.
And
I'm sorry.
we
35 is the next year.
Yes,
Okay.
we hope to upscale it.
So what's your total number of students that came to your program that went to higher education?
So we had Pritam, Prayas, we had the 3 mentors up there, and then we had 1 more who was a senior. Our program is for juniors and seniors. So out of the 4, out of the 9, we had 4 who were seniors, 5 who were juniors. The juniors came back again this year. They're applying to colleges right now. I have 1 sitting behind. She's also applying. We had 3 out of the 4 seniors. Yes, we're currently in college.
So electric, cable, internet service, water, refuse, trash, where are those expenses? How are they covered? I see you have the rent in here. How do you cover those expenses?
So it's a permanent. So by the internet, everything is covered.
Rent, so all utilities are paid for in that rent? And then I'm looking at your expenses that you have set forth for the grant. You have a $185,000 project. They seem pretty clear, with one exception. Just under a third of it is for civic engagement. What is civic engagement? And how would our grant, what would that be helping to fund? What does that mean?
Sure. So with civic engagement, largely because, as I mentioned in the opening, the community is very new to the country as well as to the Harrisburg area, greater Harrisburg area. Largely, since 2022, we started with the voter education, voter registration program. But now for the next year, things like, having community events around misinformation, disinformation. We also do training to our community members who have higher aspirations to run for office. We collaborated with a local organization, local nonprofit. We did 1 round of run for office training. Next year we have 2 rounds of run for office training. In other than that, also within civic engagement, even though all of these community members went through the common refugee experience, there's also a great amount of diversity even within the community, by religion, by ethnicity, by different castes. So there's common need to bring unity within the community as well, and also within the non-Vietnamese community within Harrisburg, right? So we're doing series of community conversation dinner. So next year we have 6 community dinner planned. So these are some of the activities that come under civic engagement, but we do have a separate funding stream, catering toward that.
That is the biggest part of your budget. That's the biggest line item. So that's why I was curious.
Yeah, I think to answer your question, one of the things we're trying to connect the civic engagement and the education and software for success is where our plan from next year is to engage our parents from Soccer for Success. So Soccer for Success is kids of ages 6 to 15. So there are a lot of parents from Soccer for Success and from First Step Forward, which is the education program. So our plan is to engage the parents into civic engagement, community empowerment, so to build a wholesome, empowered community.
And one of the guiding principles of this board is we ask, how can the most residents of Dauphin County benefit from the grant? So we don't want to earmark it just for an exclusive group. So hearing you say that it could become available for non-Bhutanese community members, because I don't think it would be appropriate for us to give county grant money to a group that is only includes itself.
Yeah.
So when would you be opening up these programs to everybody?
So Soccer for Success program is already open, and we do have examples of non-Vietnamese community members coming in and participating in it. For First Step Forward, the education program. So this, like Pamela said, this is the first full year that we're running, right? We have one Latino student from the community. We wanted to bring some non-Vietnamese this year to get a feel how we can cater them without, overwhelming them with the Vietnamese culture, etc. So next year onward, one of the plans is to when we open it up for like 35, 40 people, take 5 to 10 non-Vietnamese kids and slowly, increase that uptake.
Very good, thank you.
Very nice.
By next year, just to add, it would be starting in August, so the next school year, not the next.
Right, no, I
Yes.
guess.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Nice.
Thank you very much.
Who's the oldest? How old are you?
38.
Because you all look young. You're doing good things.
Yeah, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Very informative, very informative. Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you. Do you have any questions?
I
Brett-
do actually, before
Fred
you
has a
guys
few
go.
questions.
So since we're running out of time, I don't really want to talk about it right now, but I'm looking at the hard costs of your budget for the grant pieces. So the furniture, the library materials, dance studio setup, First Steps Forward program, and Soccer for Success program. Can you guys give us, and just email to Brooke when you get it, just an idea, a little better breakdown of what those hard costs are, what you're specifically going to spend that money on? That'd be great.
Generally, it's like 25, 25, 5 for First Step Forward, the education program, 25 for.
She means specifically,
Like-
how do you come up with 25,000? And we can't go through it tonight, but
Yeah.
She needs a budget project.
yeah.
How did you arrive at 25,000? Very good,
Is
thank you.
there,
And
like tomorrow,
you should have
as soon
been,
as possible?
as soon as possible, but
Okay.
no, you don't need to turn it around in, 8 hours. Don't worry about it.
11:59,
Yeah.
deadline.
By, 20 days.
Yeah, I would,
Yeah, totally.
Couple
I
weeks.
would say
Within,
by the
within 2-3
end
days,
of
we
like
should be-
mid-January,
Yeah.
so that when we wrap this up, we have all your information.
You guys.
Thank you so much. Good luck.
Thank you.
Drive safely.
Thank you guys so much. Have a good night.
Thank you.
So they came
Oh,
a
that's
couple
right.
days earlier.
The other day. Same gentleman at 2 different nonprofits, right?
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Um,
Have a good night.
No, that was,
No, that's-
Fernandez. That was Blitzman.
Yeah.
So Casa de Harmony, that project was,
It wasn't me, so.
yeah, they came on, I think, the first, the second day, they came on the first day with.
Oh, that's right, we plugged them in, yeah, okay.
Are we on the last one?
Yeah, so
Last two.
last two.
Rooney's Community?
Spot.
Come on.
Yeah.
Good evening.
Good evening. Welcome to the Dauphin County Gaming Advisory Board. This is your time and place that has been appointed for you to present your grant project before the board. You have 15 minutes allotted for the presentation of your project and for discussion and questions by the board. We're going to allot the first 10 minutes for your actual presentation, and the last 5 minutes will be for questions and answers by the board members. So we would ask you to introduce yourself first, your capacity with the organization, and then whenever you're ready, you can start your presentation. So,
Thank you. My name is Ashika Dorali, and I'm the project coordinator at the BCH Meets Community in Harrisburg.
Hi, good evening. My name is Kez Mishra. I'm the executive director of the organization.
And I'm Uraj Koryala. I'm the next chairman of the board for Community in Harrisburg. Central Pennsylvania. And I'm also an attorney by profession.
Thank you. Well, thank you all again for taking the time to be with us this late in the night. As I understand it, we're the second to last presentation between.
You're not the last.
Second to last.
You're good.
So we'll try to make this as clear and
That's okay.
direct.
This is your time. You do it, take your time and do it how you'd like.
Thanks. So our proposal is that a safer home makes a stronger county. It's focused on strengthening culturally sensitive and responsive domestic violence prevention services for our Belize community in Dauphin County. So to understand the need for this project, it really helps to look at who is living in Dauphin County today. The Belize Nepali community has grown significantly from an initial 1 to 2,000 to what Commissioner Justin Douglas recently mentioned, one of the largest in the nation, with over 40,000 people just in the central Pennsylvania area. The American Community Survey tells us a very similar story. More than 51% of foreign-born residents in Dauphin County are Asian, which is primarily driven by the Belize community. So this demographic reality directly shapes the needs that we are encountering every single day at the BCH. There was a study done by the American Research Institute for Policy Development in 2017 that found that English proficiency was the #1 barrier for Belize refugees in the United States. Interviews were done with refugees from Wisconsin, from Pennsylvania. It showed that elders and women struggled the most. It found that their limited English created a sense of isolation in their lives. And the same study found that these language limitations pushed many Belize people who could work into low-wage, low-skill jobs that did not meet their basic expenses because our community tends to live in multi-generational homes. Families would frequently rely on public assistance, and they frequently expressed concern about long-term stability. There was a CDC investigation that happened in 2012 that reported the highest suicide amount for refugees for that time. And a similar study in 2014 by Bonham, which found that adjustment pressure and low literacy rates for the community contributed directly to their mental health vulnerability. The initial 17 study documented gambling as an emerging concern in Belize communities in Pittsburgh and Scranton. Leaders were expressing concern that young adults had lost substantial amounts of money to gambling, and even in extreme cases faced bankruptcy. This vulnerability was again linked to financial stress and limited understanding of the US financial system. The Belize community in Dauphin County are very comfortable shopping at Nepali-owned markets, small convenience stores, and restaurants where Belize presence tends to be higher. But these are the same places where skill games and mini casinos are present. This creates the same pattern that was described in the 2017 study of financially stressed refugee population living in lower income neighborhoods with high exposure to gambling opportunities. When income is unstable and family members struggle with language, mental health, employment challenges, a lot of stress accumulates in the home. The 2017 study reported increases in domestic violence cases associated with the rising concerns about gambling alcohol use, and economic hardship. Victims were struggling to get away from these environments because of the associated financial stress that came with seeking counsel or services. These findings are exactly why our project is very necessary in Dauphin County. Our proposal is titled Project Suraksha, which means protection in Nepali. We chose that name because protection is exactly what we feel is missing for our community members who face domestic violence but cannot access help due to these language barriers and financial stress and unfamiliarity with legal and county systems. Again, these gaps are not theoretical. We just heard about it in nearby cities like Pittsburgh and Scranton, and the BCH sees them weekly when community members come. The BCH is often the only place that community members feel safe enough to come and ask for help. We are requesting $75,000 to launch the most critical components of a safety pathway that we can realistically sustain at this stage. The first core component of the project is strengthening our referral partnerships with the county's existing domestic violence services and programs such as Coalition Against Domestic Violence, the YWCA, Children and Youth. These partners already play a very big, vital role in Dauphin County, and our solution is to serve as a trusted bridge because many of our Baptiste residents in Dauphin County never reach these services. So our project's goal is to align our efforts so that we are enhancing the reach of the county services and the effectiveness of the systems that already exist instead of creating a totally new one. Once we build that strong referral partnership, the next step is working with these clients, right? When somebody comes to us, we help them figure out exactly who they need to contact and how to move forward. We stay with them the whole way. So checking in, helping with paperwork, interpreting, making calls, making sure they're not navigating everything alone. So this extended support is usually what makes a difference between somebody actually getting that help. The fourth part of our project is domestic violence prevention education. So this is very practical guidance for our community partners on how to work with our community. So we're going to give them cultural context, history, our communication styles, common barriers that our community faces. It helps our referral partners understand and feel more confident when working with our community. And in turn, it helps our community feel understood when they reach out for help. And then the last part of our project is legal aid sessions. Many of these families are very unfamiliar with the US legal system. And even when they need help, they often don't know where to begin or what their rights actually are. So these sessions are creating a setting where we are inviting lawyers from Dauphin County to speak directly about topics, like protection orders or custody concerns or divorce options and what legal process looks like here, and to answer any questions that our community may have. We have done this in the past. When there was a rise in immigration issues, we partner with several organizations throughout the country and in Pennsylvania. One of them is Asian Law Caucus. And we saw a model that worked. We brought a bunch of lawyers and then we allowed our community members some time to go and speak with them.
And you are at about 10 minutes right now. How much more do you think you have to go?
2 more minutes would be good.
I can't let you go that far because the next one will go over. So at this point, can you just give us a summation of your project? It looks like you pretty much presented most of what you have. It looks like it's domestic violence, and providing services and resources to connect affected members of the community with the already established county social services. I think like what I'd do is ask this one question. First of all, looks like a great project, and it looks like there's a need that you've already established that need. So my question is, after you're requesting $75,000, which is 100% of the project cost. So the first part of the your project said you would have to retain like an administrator or hire somebody to administer the program. Is that the contractual services component, the $29,120?
Yes.
What is that? What you're estimating is going to cost you to pay somebody to administer the program?
Yes, that would fund 2 part-time contractors to implement the project.
Okay, because month one, the project will contract project coordinators, so that would be 2 project coordinators, and that would be part of the $29,100
Yes,
contracted
correct.
services. Okay, that was the only question that I had regarding those expenses to make sure that was built into the project.
Yeah.
Okay, and I personally like the fact that you're utilizing existing services with the county, which will eliminate a redundancy of services, but it will also help the integration process to integrate with already existing county services. So I think that's a great idea.
Thanks.
Very good. Thank you.
Good point. Yep, no questions.
The only question I have is, when you talk about the legal workshops, where attorneys come, are they doing that pro bono, or do you have to pay them, or how does that work?
In the past, they have agreed to do pro bono when we partner with Asian Law Caucus, but it's also built into the budget if they do ask for a certain amount.
Yeah, I mean, I personally have been reached out by multiple families in the past, and I have not been able to help them on I don't know anything about domestic violence, and be malpractice related to attempt to help them other than just connect them to a lawyer that knows better than me, lawyer that can help them. And with this program, I think we'd be better able to put everyone in touch, and then we being part of the law legal community, we would be able to bridge that gap that Ashika mentioned earlier about the existing county resources, and then having that someone in the middle to facilitate that connection, which might not have been present in the past because of the cultural stigma.
That's the only question I had, and I don't want to take any time with just giving this board some kind of roadmap of how you plan to roll this out and connect to all these other agencies. You know, you're just not gonna knock on the door. Do you have a plan how to meet these other organizations? But it's not for now. Maybe the next go around you can explain a little more. It is getting late.
I understand. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's good.
It sounds like you already have those relationships established with those county
With
agencies.
several county
Yeah.
departments, yes, through our collaboration in other mental health projects that we have established those connections and networks. And we also receive a lot of, as Ashika pointed out, individuals from the community that reach out to us whenever they have problems due to language barriers, fear of stigma and other purposes, they first come to us. So we kind of know the clientele, the population that needs help. And we are also at least partly informed of the existing services and look forward to build more partnerships and available resources at the county through this initiative.
And I can imagine the language barrier may prevent a victim from being able to reach out to receive services, right? So this part of this project is to provide those services for interpreters and folks that can help somebody that may be victimized, but they're not able to reach out for the services, right? That's part of this project. And that would be a community outreach program where you would educate, inform the community that the services are available and how they can receive the services.
And I'll add a last point, as part of another project that we are working around mental health and suicide prevention, we had a small pilot opportunity to address similar issues in the same framework where we address mental health specifically, but this project applies to domestic violence. So we already have piloted a framework for this project, and we see that people actually are getting help.
Good, very good.
Very good.
Good project,
Yeah,
sounds good.
really.
Thank you so
Thank
much
you.
for your
Thank you
time.
for- Yeah.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you.
Very good. I'm sorry, Brett, did you have any questions?
I think that's-
Good. Thank you so much. Drive safely tonight, okay?
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Unless you're just having too much fun. Also,
We started at 4:30.
Yeah.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Good evening. Welcome to the Dauphin County Gaming Advisory Board. This is your designated time and place to make your presentation to the Gaming Advisory Board regarding your project and your grant application. What we're going to do is you've been earmarked 15 minutes for your presentation. The 10 minutes will be for you to present your project. The last 5 minutes will be for the board members to ask questions regarding your project. We're going to set a timer when you start. And at the 10-minute mark, we're going to give you a hard stop. I'm going to advise you your 10 minutes is up. We're going to stop your presentation where it's at, and then we'll have 5 minutes to ask questions. So what we would ask you to do is introduce yourselves, the three folks that are here with us. Introduce who you are, your capacity with your organization, and then when you're ready, you can start your presentation.
Thank you so much. My name is Rahir. I am one of the board member of Hindu Religions and Culture.
I'm Tulan Yupani, and I'm an executive director of WET.
I'm Adi, and I'm the secretary of the organization.
Very good, welcome.
Thank you so much. We would like to utilize the time and begin it. Shortly, we will be just going with the presentation overview, a short history and the service, surrounding programs.
if you want to control the PowerPoint, just move that down here.
Project descriptions, needs, objectives, and expected outcomes, project relevance and impact, budget and funding, summarizing highlights, and the question session.
So we're going to talk a little bit about the OHLC, and it's a non-profit organization that is founded in 2013, and the mission is to promote the Hindu principle, Nepali language, cultural preservation, and we provide several community services and to promote the Hindu Vedic principle and the teaching of Vedas and Gitas, and also preserve and celebrate the traditional practice and the festivals and develop future Hindu leaders. And also we are working on supporting Nepali language education. Last but not least, encourage the volunteerism, goodwill, and community harmony. And our office is located at 5650 Lancaster Street, Hillsborough.
Slide. We are serving 45,000 plus the community folks of our own, and then some additional who will just come to our facilities. We are primarily serving the populations of Dauphin County, in addition to Ramadan, Lebanon, Franklin, Lancaster, York, Perry, and then the Lehigh counties. We do support the cultural, educational, and spiritual and social needs of our kids.
And about the program and service, we focus on the youth mentorship, leadership, and tutoring. And we're providing some of the seminars like go to college seminars, and we also guide them to fill the FAFSA form, register for college, even to choose the career and subjects. And we also focus on the civic engagement, English language learning and citizen. Here the civic engagement refers to the voter registration, election day interpretation, transportation to polling, serving as a polling location when needed. And also we have a senior wellness program where we can guide the seniors, giving the tips of yogas and all those things. And in addition to that, social gathering and peer engagement program to promote the active and healthy living. And beside that, we also have the religious and cultural service. We spend around 130 days of the year performing several religious and cultural activities. And beside that, like we said before, we have the Nepali education classes running every week. And we also have the academic support, like the math help session and homework help session for the mainstream school students. And also food distribution and emergency assistance. We provide counseling and address the urgent need when there is a need.
The main projects for our funding request is our AC outdated AC unit replacement. The AC unit in the building is 20 plus years old. It has posed significant concerns with regards to the ability to run the program successfully and also in a continuous basis. And then to serve the year-round programs and then to run the different programs that we have been running, we would like to request the fund for it. So that's our project.
Okay, the need of the projects. As Rohit says that the current system is over 20 years old and quite unreliable now, and we have unsafe indoor temperature affecting the vulnerable population, and we also have to pay a high maintenance cost. So I think it is important and critical for getting the uninterrupted community service. We think that it is crucial that we need to change the HVAC system at this point. And the objective of program is to ensure the safe and climate controlled environment, enhance energy efficiency and reduce the maintenance costs and the utility cost, and support the expanded program access and participation.
With these projects, like we would like to improve the comfort and then the facility accessibility to our participants, increase the participants by 10 to 15%. It would save the energy up to 10,000 annually, and it would enhance the long-term sustainability of our maintenance programs and services. These programs come closely aligned with the gaming revenue allocations. It aligns with the goals of the Pennsylvania gaming revenue reinvestments for the infrastructure developments. We will be serving a larger community of 45,000 plus residents. And then it would be supporting the educational, cultural heritage, and social service.
Alignment with the county plan. It improved the essential community infrastructure by addressing the outdated infrastructure. The project directly contribute to the county goal of maintaining and improving the public facility that meet the needs of the residents. And second one is promote sustainability and energy efficiency. So replacing the existing HVAC, reduce the overall energy consumption and lower the operational cost, which is also the Dauphin County emphasizing environmental responsibility. And third one is strengthening the community resilience and access to the service.
Alignment with the grant priorities, it would support the gaming board goals, continuity of infrastructures with the lasting impact. With the upgrade of the HVAC systems include the safety, accessibility, and the operational efficiency, ensures the compatibility and the uninterrupted service, and then the energy efficiency programs would improve our attendance.
And the funding request, so the total cost estimated is $120,884, and we request a grant of $100,000. And we have the matching fund of $20,884, where $20,000 is from donation and $884 is from our available cash. And we exceed the cap due to the urgent health and safety need and regional impact. And we also see that the previous gaming grants, such as the grant awarded to the RC Public Library by Dauphin County in 2024, that if we are able to justify, we might go a little above the cap. So our estimated, our grant request is $100,000.
The cost breakdown for the grant or for our project is equipment cost of 68,000. We use one of the professionals on estimating this. Labor cost of 44,900, and disposal cost of 4,185, and then the estimated for the permits and inspections of 3,800, totaling 120,884. This project create a job that we calculated on 6-month basis. HVAC technicians 0.5 FTE, electricians 0.6 FTE, crane operators we needed because of the heaviness of the equipment. That's 0.1 FTE, hauling and disposal of 1.25 FTE, and for permit and inspections of 0.2.
And regarding the timeline, we have 6 months plus 2-month planning and securing the permits. And 3rd month, buying the equipments, 4th and 5th, removal and installation. And 6th month is testing and inspection and completing the reports.
We were able to gather some community support from the PA legislators, the school districts board, and then the local leader. These facilities is for the Central for the Worship, Educations, and the Youth Development Programs. And it is the supporting on this would help our seniors and then the family and also civic engagement program that we are running.
And you are just about at 10 minutes. Yeah, your 10-minute mark. I think on my perspective, it's pretty clear. Your facility needs a new air conditioning system. The old one's not going to work much longer. Your facility serves a lot of people and a lot of different needs. So that, I don't have any more questions, so I'll open it up to the rest of the board members.
Just one. You talked about doing a lot of things related to education. And I wonder, within that education, maybe you didn't put it on paper, but training or other skills that your community may need, whether they be computer skills, whether they be a trade of some kind. Have you given that any thought?
We have put it on the grant applications in little bit. So we could be running college seminars to our high school pass out students. We do have every Sunday a Nepali education programs where we teach the Nepali education to the children. So we are having so much of difficulties for gap communications between the grandparents and the grandchildren because the grandparent does not know how to speak English, and then the children's does not pick up those. So we are running, and then at the same time, same place where we gather, we have those children who are lacking on the education in a school work. We have them in that place, and we are also running some types of the job oriented, whatever is being needed to the community folks, the similar similar types of the work.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Brooke?
I
Or
do
Brett,
just-
I'm sorry.
I do just have a couple quick questions. So is there heat in the building now? Or is it the current system integrated with the air conditioning as well?
I mean, both the systems are like integrated together.
Okay, the current system too?
Yes.
Okay. How many units are proposed as part of this?
In total.
Yeah. Do you have, if you don't know this?
No, I have it on the applications.
And while you're looking for that, is this something, can it be done in phases or the portion of the building?
Yeah, it has to be done with this, and then we try to discuss that in the applications, but not,
I guess I don't mean the timeline that you went through. I mean like one section of the building get done this year with one group of units, one section of the building get done another year with a group of units.
We're trying to do all at once if possible. But if based on the grants
it is.
and the donation, we might have to do phase wise, but our plan right now is to replace completely one.
Altogether 23 units. Yeah. And then, yes, like when they install at the beginning, all of the units are not installed together. So they serve like a different section, so we could be able to get it.
Okay, thank you.
Anything else?
I know that.
Any other questions? All right, well, thank you all so much. Thank you very much. Please drive carefully tonight, okay?
So much for your
All right.
Thank you.
Drive safe. Good night.